If you've ever made cookies only using the heat from your taint, you've come to the right podcast. Welcome back to the Brohio Podcast. I'm here with the birthday boy, Rob Diggity Dangle Dog.
Yeah, the former birthday boy.
Is it a day late?
Yeah, day late.
Sorry.
But thanks everybody for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I got a lot of them.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Fancy guy you are.
Yeah, it happens. I get my one day a year.
That's all right, dude.
Then everybody can go back to hating me the rest of the days. That's
yeah, 41 years old. You look pretty good, though.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, man. That's the only time you get upset when I make fun of your age.
35.
35.
It's not too bad.
I am the sensual and delicious one. They call me the delicious Nickalicious. We're hoping, we're praying that the way this night's going to pan out is the way that we want it to pan out.
Yeah.
We have a psychic medium that's agreed to talk to us in about 30 minutes. We've had guests flake before, but I have full faith in our friend Brett that he's going to show up. He's a clairvoyant psychic medium that communicates with the other side. And I got a lot of questions for him, as I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
We're just going to fly by the seat of our pants on that one.
Yeah, if not, we might have to get a hold of Lady Cleo.
Oh, yeah. She's a really good psychic.
Just call her back from the 90s.
She used to keep me up all fucking night. Hey, man.
Hello there, baby.
Wake up and look at my big dangly titties, man. I got the psychic. She was something else. I think she's dead now.
Was she like fucking from Brooklyn or something?
She was definitely a fraud.
Yeah.
She was. I mean, I don't know. I heard she was a
fraud.
fraud.
No, she was, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Rest her soul.
All right. Well, first up, thank you to our new Patreon, starting with Luke McCallum. Luke McCallum. Thank you. I love your Big Mac sandwich. That's a very delicious one. So thank you for the Patreon pledge.
Jordan Ray.
Oh, Gay Ray. You thought I said Gay Ray, but I said Gary. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, Gay Ray. Not Gay Ray.
Okay.
Ray ain't gay, but Gay Ray. He's coming down the block. You know, you see him coming. Hey, Gay Ray. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. That was a good song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the club like Anna Vignola. Big V.
Big V.
That's what size her bra is. She got them double V's. What is a V? That's what size underwear I wear is a size double V. What, do they make a V bra?
They might. I don't know. I'm not up to date on my bra
ask
sizes.
Your wife. What size are those?
There's no big titties or little titties.
Shut up.
Next, we got Hannah Allen. Thank you very much, Hannah.
And last but not least, Tanita K. She needs all of it. Tanita K. Thank you for the Patreon pledge. You guys all mean so much to us. Thank you for your generous donations. And as we had a new sponsor reach out, they said, let's do it. I said, let's do it. And the thing about this sponsor is, guys, if you guys get on and do it, you're doing us a service because they're going to be return customers. And that's a relationship we hope to flourish. Hope that it flourishes.
Oh, yeah.
But then if you join, you send us a screenshot, the email. We'll start like a group chat on Facebook or something for everybody that's betting this week, because this is for MyBookie.ag is where you guys can go for this deal. And with the NBA season coming up, there's a lot of things that are a lock. And with MyBookie, you can't lose with the NBA lock of the season. When you bet on either team to score between the Dallas Mavericks or the Denver Nuggets this Friday, you win. An NBA game has never gone scoreless, so you know this is a sure bet. So place your bet, they score, you win. It's that easy. And maybe, Rob, this is more of your sweet spot right here.
Yeah, and this weekend, MyBookie is also giving all users $100 risk-free wager on the light heavyweight championship fight between Glover Teixeira and Jan Blachowicz, which is going to be a fucking banger.
Well, who do you got in that fight, Rob?
I'm going to take Jan on that one because Jan is a fucking beast.
All right, that's a free $100 wager that you guys are going to get risk-free.
$300.
And Rob just gave you the fucking answer to the fight.
There you go.
So you don't even need to think about it, guess about it. But then you send us a screenshot. You're going to get into the group message where we're all talking, betting who we're taking the Bengals over the Ravens. Yeah, take that bet.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy, he wagered $250,000 in that game.
On the Bengals?
On the Bengals.
Did he really?
Won $250,000.
Wait, how much did he bet?
I think he bet $250 and he won $250.
Oh, so he doubled
his money.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, on them
that's
Bengals.
a risky bet. Good for him. That paid off because they stomped the Ravens.
They did. And if you want to bet with us, you can do it. So don't wait. Head to mybookie.ag now and use our promo code BROHIO, BROHIO, and get in on the NBA lock of the season. That's promo code BROHIO. It's a lock. Get your season started with a win, then thank me later. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
Do it.
Yeah, and get in the group chat, and you can see who I'm telling you all the fucking answers, how to win all the money. You want to get in on that?
I'll tell you when it comes to the fights.
I don't accept messages from nobody. You get in a group message with me today. That works.
Yeah, same here.
All right. I've been having a good week, Rob Dog. Slow motion, had a good weekend, got to hang out with you a little bit.
Yep.
Got to have some good food over the weekend.
Yep.
I'm really excited about what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing for this country, not only the state. They're really doing a lot to get our eyes and our minds off of the $7 a gallon gas, because I know that really makes people happy.
Yeah, I think it was a good weekend for Ohio sports in general, wasn't it? Didn't the Browns win too?
No, they didn't play. They played on Thursday. They won.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, they won with their backups.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
And I think that, man, this is like my favorite time of the year right now.
I know it is
a really good time of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm just so over the moon with the Bengals stuff. And I did mention the expensive gas. Okay, gas is really fucking expensive. But I heard some people arguing about this shit the other day. And they're like, this is fucking Joe Biden's goddamn fault. And then our friend, and he's like, no, it's not Joe Biden's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. And he's explaining it all. And neither of them made any goddamn sense. And I hate talking about politics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's somebody's fault.
Yeah, I don't get it enough.
It is.
Yeah.
I think there might be a pipeline that was closed initially.
I just blame it on the man.
I blame it on the man for sure.
Because it was a man that fucked it up.
Oh, it's never a woman.
No.
They know how to do the shit.
No. You think we'd be... Us being men, we'd know how to handle gas, but no. We fucking suck. We fuck everything up that we touch.
Oh, man. I'm in this bourbon forum online, and there was a guy that had a glass of bourbon, and he blew a cigar smoke in it, and he put his hand over the top of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, does anyone ever like to blow cigar smoke into their glass and give it kind of a different taste? Mm-hmm. And I like to blow ass after I eat Taco Bell. A big old bean burrito.
And now you're kicked out of this. You're kicked out of the forum now.
What's your go-to order at Taco Bell?
I change it up a lot, man.
Me too.
It depends. They're putting in new stuff all the time, so I'm always getting trying the new stuff. Before it was always the chalupa meal.
Oh, with 2 tacos?
Fuck me up some chalupas. Yeah, those, what are the new ones they have? It's the new chicken one.
Oh, the chicken sandwich taco?
Yeah, that little thing. It's really good.
Yeah, they've got good stuff.
Yeah, and it's only like a fucking $1 or something, too. It's really cheap.
My go-to is a cheesy gordita crunch.
That's a good one.
With a Dorito Loco inside of it.
Hell yeah.
And sometimes I get a chili cheese burrito with it.
Oh, dude, chili cheese burritos are where it's at.
Those are good as fuck.
Yeah, man.
And I get some chips and cheese.
Cheesy potato soft taco, too?
Yeah.
Those are killer.
That Chipotle sauce they
put
on
dude.
There, I put on it. I'm like, hey in there. Hey, you taco makers in there. Put that creamy Chipotle sauce on all of it. Make sure you put it in my fucking Baja Blast, too.
I eat that stuff off my wife's butthole.
Oh, yeah. My wife's like,
she don't like it, but I do.
You putting lube on that? I'm like, no, that's not lube.
It's my lube.
It's creamy Chipotle sauce we're talking about. I'm starving. Yeah, I'm hoping, like I said, our friend shows up tonight. Actually, he said he's ready right now. So
hell yeah.
We'll pause this and we'll come right back.
We'll come back.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
We just did the interview.
Yeah, we did. We did it real good.
We did it so good. And now we're back.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
You got a funny news article for me.
All right, I knew you would.
Does that look funny or what?
Yeah, it does. I like it.
A man was covered in poop after a passing plane dumped toilet waste over his backyard, lawmakers said.
No.
A man was enjoying the sun in his backyard in Windsor, southeast England, when a passing plane dropped toilet waste over him and his garden furniture, a local councillor said during a recent meeting. The unfortunate incident in which a plane discharged sewage took place in July.
I don't like the word usage of the word discharge. That's no, thank you.
Next time I got a ship, like I gotta go discharge some sewage.
Some anal discharge.
I gotta go dump my poop out. I'm like an airplane. I gotta dump my poop out. His whole garden was splattered in a very unpleasant way, said Karen Davies, ward counselor for Clear East during the October 14th meeting. Quote, he was out in his garden at the time, and it was actually really horrible experience, the lawmaker continued. The whole garden umbrellas, and him.
That's a space peanut.
Were covered in poop. It wasn't shit. They called the shit poop.
They called the shit poop.
It's absolutely dreadful, she said during the meeting. Davies said there are several incidents every year in which frozen sewage is dropped along flight routes. Windsor's on the flight path to London's Heathrow Airport, which is about 8 miles away from the historic town. In June, the Sun reported that Portsmouth and southern England locals were left terrified after frozen poop fell from the sky. What the shit is that? But Davies said the raw sewage landing in someone's backyard is much rarer. Another counselor suggested it's like winning the lottery.
It just fucking makes me think of Joe Dirt. Like he's fucking eating French fries and ketchup off of it.
It's space peanut.
Space peanut. You were eating off of it.
Oh, hold on.
Whatever happened to Dennis Miller?
Oh, man. He's
he still around?
Back. Yeah, he's still around. He's hanging back.
There.
Yeah, but Davies said the raw sewage landing in someone's backyard is much rarer. Another counselor suggested that the summer's warmer weather might have contributed to it. Whitefield Parish Counselor Jeff Paxton, who's worked with the airlines for 4 decades, said what happened was so rare and one he had not seen in a long time. He added that modern toilets on planes are vacuum secured and are normally reliable as they rely on pressure suction to work. So this unfortunate situation must have been resulted from the aircraft failure or failure to adequately service it. According to Maidenhead Advertiser, the Windsor resident was unable to claim any insurance from the ordeal as the cost of the damage was relatively low.
And I love how the picture right under it, like scroll up a little bit, is just a really big snake and it just looks like a huge turd. Oh, man.
Calling to file that insurance claim. Like,
oh, man.
Oh, you're not going to believe this. They crushed my umbrella in my garden with a bunch of fucking poop.
A bunch of turds.
There was poop falling from the sky.
Oh, man. What a shitty day.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
This guy was probably an asshole. Probably had it coming to him.
Yeah, had some pretty crap luck that day.
Shitty for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would be excited. Like, if that happened to me, I would vomit a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like winning the lottery. The stinky lottery.
They said this is much rarer than anything else.
Right.
God, you always wonder when you take a fat shit on a plane where it goes. This lands on some dude's head in fucking Britain.
Someone's farm. Oh, man.
And a weird turn of fate, that cow that I ate at Texas Roadhouse the other night was probably eating my shit in a cornfield 6 months before that.
Oh, the circle of life is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's the circle. All right. Well, this episode, we, around I don't know, probably in like 45 minutes or so.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We're too soon into this. We've already done the interview. We're just going to place it at the end of the episode like we always do.
Yeah, we talked to medium psychic Brett Carstens. You guys can find him at brettcarstens.com, Carstens, brettcarstens.com. You can also go to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brett Carstens. He's got a lot of good stuff. I mean, he does a lot of paranormal investigating. He stayed at Skinwalker Ranch. He got a lot of emotional paranormal investigations because he talks to the other side. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. And if you guys are kind of in the need of a psychic medium, maybe you need to try and communicate with that one person on the other side, he also can facilitate that as well. So it's all good stuff.
Yeah, good time.
Very good time. This story, I wanted to have a scary story this week. And the fact that it kind of, because it's Halloween, and we've kind of fallen out of the pattern of doing our paranormal episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're all mostly bullshit.
So goes it.
This one seems pretty cool, though. This is kind of like a psychic vibe to it, and which made me say, hey, I think I should reach out to a psychic, and we should find a psychic and talk to him. I didn't ask him about this. He probably didn't know much about this case. Maybe he did. I don't know. So,
and I just realized this is our second year not doing a Halloween show. It's weird. I don't like it.
We probably could have done one this year.
We could have.
It's just such a fucking ordeal to do it there. Like,
yeah. Oh, no, definitely not there anymore. We're spreading our wings.
Mark it on your calendars. In April, we're going to be going to Louisville.
Yeah, hopefully we can do one before then, though.
Yes.
I'd like to work something up November.
Okay.
Columbus.
Work one out on my chest.
Or early December.
Okay.
We could do after Thanksgiving.
Maybe. I'm going to Disney.
When?
December 3rd or 4th.
Oh, well, fuck my ass then. Never mind.
You asked for it, pal. This is the Heidi Wyrick story.
All right.
Our story takes us to the rural town of Ellerslie, Georgia.
Oh, man, that sounds real podunk.
It does, man. And we'll play some clips from it here in a little bit.
I could smell the peaches whenever you said that.
Moving to the country, it's gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
It's a good one. Underrated jam.
They come in a can. They were put there by a man. That's a good fucking song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
God damn. Peaches for me, peaches for me. I love that song. They did like one of those made-for-TV documentaries / movies about this case.
Okay.
Probably about probably older than that, probably 25 years old.
Damn.
But you can go online on YouTube and watch it. We'll play some clips from it. This movie was so low budget.
Hell yeah, those are the best.
They usually when they make these paranormal recreations, they're usually kind of not the best acting.
Right.
They're not,
Yeah, there's no need for it.
They couldn't even afford actors to make this. So they took the fucking hillbillies that were involved and they had them acted out. They had them sit in front of the lamp and say, oh, yeah, there were spirits running around the goddamn house and shit. And then they would flash forward to the...
They couldn't do the dramatic reenactment. They had to do...
No, they would flash the dramatic reenactment, and it's them like, there's spirits all over this fucking living room. They're just... But it was them. They were doing the acting. You can tell they're not professional actors. I would say she probably worked at a gas station. It looked like he was in landscaping, so you can tell between them they had about maybe a half of a potato of an IQ. It just wasn't going that well for him. When I play this YouTube video, you guys like, that's some bullshit. What I do know, and this is a ghost story from Georgia,
okay,
from the South. What I do know about Southern ghosts
from the plantation.
They used to be racist a long time ago.
Oh yeah, super racist ghosts.
They're coming around. They're getting better. Everything there is the ghosts are a little more slow motion.
Yeah, everything's slower.
The ghosts are a lot nicer as well.
Okay.
They got a really good temperament, these ghosts. Not these fucking Brooklyn Yonkers, these assholes. That's where all the demons come from.
Makes sense.
Bill Wilkins.
Yeah.
Probably from New York.
Sure. Jersey or something.
But these Southern ghosts, they're sweethearts. Make good sweet tea also.
I love sweet tea.
Now, this is the Wyrick family. They lived in a one-level brick home in a very quiet rural area. And this started in about 1989 when things kind of took a sour turn against this small family.
I love the sour stuff.
I love sour stuff too. Although there were some tropical Sour Patch Kids in the candy bucket at work, those things taste like fucking horse urine. Those are disgusting.
I like sour.
I don't like
sour beer.
I don't like mango flavor.
Oh, dude, fuck me up with some mango.
You like it?
Shove it in my ass. Yeah,
oh,
I'll eat it with my dick. I don't even care.
Disgusting.
Oh, dude, mango anything.
Speaking of dicks,
I'll do some snake slurps all day long, man.
I know you will. Speaking of dicks, last week I said,
"Oh yeah, holy shit!"
If anyone wants to send pictures of their penis,
of their meat,
we'll rate your meat, and I'll send it to Rob. Well, yes, we said we'll rate your meat. Rate your meat, and I said, but I would like pictures of your brisket, your pulled pork, hamburger. Can I just tell you?
I'll take the dick. Yeah.
That we probably got north of 20 penises.
Really?
Yes.
I only saw one.
Because that was
the
first one was the best one.
Was that the white pony of the bunch?
Yeah, it was. You know how many pictures of brisket and burgers we got?
0.
Not a single fucking one. So, you fucking fruitcakes.
What, man?
We got the people they think they know we like, and then
Yeah, that was a champion bread wiener that you sent me, man.
it was, man.
Good for him.
It was a big old wiener. He was uncircumcised though, so it probably smelled like old fucking moldy cheese.
It was a big boy. It was hefty.
We also got a shirt in our PO box. I don't remember his name offhand, but it was a 5-finger death punch Harley Davidson shirt.
That's for you, man.
And then there was a giant note written in crayon that said, "You ever figure out how many dildos you can fit in that motorcycle, fat ass," or some shit like that. And it's a fucking Harley shirt that I don't. It says it's got a Harley Davidson logo, and there's like a skull hugging the logo, and then it says 5-finger death punch.
Of course it does.
It's like one of those fucking dumbass Facebook ads where it
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"I'm a dad of 3 girls, and don't try me because I'll try you, I'll kill you." And it's just a really long, over the top.
I love those. They're so oddly specific.
yeah.
They're made for one person, you could tell.
Yeah, and
those are great.
That's what this shirt was, and he really went out of his way to find this. And it was kind of damp when I got it too. It didn't stink,
nice.
but it's kind of damp. I don't know if that was the post office fault or
Maybe it was a rainy day.
maybe he pissed in it before.
Cum.
He
Cum rag.
He cummed all over it. So yeah, man, that's good stuff. Thanks for the shirt. I'm gonna cut the sleeves off that and definitely wear it to the bar. Definitely beat somebody's ass.
You definitely got to go to a biker bar to wear that. We got plenty of them around here.
We do. Like I was saying, I wanted to go with a haunting tonight in the spirit of Halloween and how it all tied in with the psychic medium. It was perfect. The story starts with the married couple, Andrew or Andy and Lisa Wyrick. So they're the parents. They had just purchased their first home and everything was right in the world. That is a good feeling getting through the home buying process.
Yeah.
Because they rake you over hot coals, brother. They want to know.
It's rough.
You tried a butt plug for the first time in 2007. It was your mom's butt plug. Can you get a letter from your mom that says you don't owe her any money for ruining that butt plug? And you're like, I really got to fucking do that in order to buy a house.
But I did ruin the butt plug.
I did ruin it. I paid her back. I still have the butt plug.
It's in right now, actually.
Yeah. Ooh, hold on. Where's our butt plug button?
Yeah. There you go. That one was in there tight.
It was, yeah. That one definitely didn't have any poop on it.
It looked like a traffic cone.
That's a good butthole. That's a nice tight butthole.
Oh, yeah, nice and taut.
Speaking of a nice tight butthole, I was taking a shit today. I'll tell that story later. Hold on a second. This story starts with Andy, Lisa Wyrick. They had just purchased their first home. Everything's wonderful, perfect. The house directly next door to me is actually for sale right now.
If I was looking, I'd buy it, but I'm not looking, so sorry.
And funny story, I was out in the garage working on the motorcycle.
Sure.
And I was trying to use my hand like a hammer, but the thing I was hitting was like flat. So when I was hitting it with my hand, it sounded like I was slapping ass.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm growling at it, dude. I'm using all my body.
You're barking and
I sound like I'm getting huckle fucked by a hippopotamus in the garage. And I'm giving it all I got. I got the garage door open, and I'm like, fuck! Because I hit my knuckle. I've been chewing on my knuckle all night. But I hit my knuckle, and I walk out of the garage just kind of like fucking growling and snarling, and I turn to the left, and the property line from my garage to the neighbor's house is maybe 8 to 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're standing on the property line, they're 8 to 10 feet away from my garage door.
Yeah.
I walk out, I look to the left, and there's two. Obviously, I'm going to say they were probably married. The two men, they were, I think we call them twinks.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes. And they were laughing when I came out, and they were like, the one dude on the right, had like Harry,
Step Brothers, you're going to love it here.
He had Harry Potter glasses on, and he said, hey. And I said, hi.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
He said, what are you doing in there? And, me being me, I said, well, I'm fucking partying because it's Sunday. And they're like, we party too. We're looking at this house next door. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to get railed the fuck out.
Dude, I hope they fucking buy. I want to hang out with them.
Oh, dude, they seem really cool. they're like, what are you? They said, it sounded like you're beating up a watermelon, is what the one guy said.
That's what good asshole
Yeah,
sounds like.
Yeah, that's what my dick looks like. It's a watermelon. I got one of them watermelon dicks.
Oh, man.
I ain't never seen a watermelon.
Man, I hope they move in.
I don't know, man.
You need some gays in this neighborhood.
It's a fucking time machine over there. It looks like 1950 inside.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
And he's like, "What you working on? You working on something?" I said, "Yeah, I'm working on my Harley." I want him to know that I was gonna be the top.
You probably automatically just assumed you were a Republican, or like, yeah, we can't buy that house.
Yeah. And he's like, "I work on my stuff too," and he like pulled his sleeves up and flexed.
Dude, they're so awesome. God, I hope they move in.
Yeah, man. So
That's
if you
great.
guys are listening, I can't wait to eat you guys out. He said, "It sounded like you were beating up a watermelon." Does that mean they want to fuck me, or like what does that mean? I don't know.
If you're lucky.
If I'm lucky. Oh man, yeah, I was beating the shit out of it. I'm tearing it up in here, boys. Come on in. I got enough left for both of you.
I want some gay neighbors. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, Andrew and Lisa, they did have a young daughter by the name of Heidi. The entire haunting kind of centers around her and kind of her interpretations of what's going on. I want to say she was like 5 or 6 when they moved in.
Okay.
And eventually, she's about 8 whenever some other stuff starts happening. But
all right.
they move into this house and everything is perfect. Like I said, you're naturally on your toes moving into a new house with all the uncertainty, all the new weird sounds. You're trying to adjust to your new environment. It's just the first couple nights in a new house can be uneasy.
Sure.
For me, it normally
everyone
is.
involved.
Yeah. So it was kind of that's kind of what they were going through. Then Heidi, everything was fine. They move into this house, nothing weird, nothing crazy. But then Heidi hits them with a fucking bomb.
Okay.
Just some wild stuff. She said that a nice old man with long gray hair, wearing a suit, tie, and shiny black shoes was coming into the backyard to play with her every day.
Cemetery.
I'd be sneaking in there. They said, "Boy, we're going to play with that girl." I said, "I'll go play with that girl on the swing. I'm going to take her down the slide." Cemetery. They said, "Boy, don't you going to get arrested going playing with that little girl in the back." I said, "Boy, I had sisters growing up. I know. I'll take her down the slide. Oh, Cemetery Terry, you're wild out there in the playground. You get me up on them monkey bars, I'll do the splits. Y'all be seeing my balls." You think Cemetery Terry's got a big old set of balls on him?
I'm sure he does. Yeah, they're probably really low and hanging.
Yeah.
I picture him playing with the girl. That's why I said his name instead of Bill, because he'd probably try to fuck her.
Yeah. Cemetery Terry's got them jet ski nuts. The one just fucking swinging back and forth in the water.
Oh, man.
So he would, whoever this man was, he would take her by the hand and lead her to the swing, and that's where they would play all day. They would hang out, and he would push her on the swing.
Aww.
And as a parent, you immediately have to shit yourself on that one because your daughter's telling you that an old man with long, greasy hair and a black suit is coming into the backyard.
Super long nuts.
Super long nuts. Yeah, the long-legged, pissed-off Puerto Rican.
His balls, his sack was like a hammock.
Yeah, he had really droopy nuts.
I rested in them.
Yeah, that's what my mom always. She'd be like, "I was shower with your dad." I'd be like, "Really droopy nuts, Mom."
That's how your parents got married.
Really droopy nuts.
I knew he was mine once I gazed upon his satchel.
Yeah, you just gotta excuse yourself from that situation. Your kids start making outlandish tale. You got to get away from that.
Definitely.
You got to get rid of those kids. You got to take them. You got to go out for bread and milk and never come back. That kid is broken.
Put them up on Wayfair.
Yeah, in a cabinet. Put their asses in a Wayfair cabinet. And Andy and Lisa were taken by surprise on this one. Heidi, the daughter, was adamant that what was occurring every single day. Oh, I'm sorry. She was adamant that what she explained was indeed occurring every single day. But they never observed anyone in the backyard with Heidi, but they definitely started to pay a little more attention after she was talking about this.
Okay.
But they'd never seen anybody. They kept an eye on her. That was their daughter. She was on the back. They would keep an eye on her. They never saw anyone out there with her. They came to the conclusion that Heidi was in fact interacting with an invisible friend.
Okay.
Or an imaginary friend. Maybe not invisible. An imaginary friend.
Invisible friend.
Yeah. No, he's really there. He just
Help.
He's just invisible. Heidi told her parents that the man's name was Gordy.
Damn.
Which I think is the nastiest name.
My had a raccoon named Gordy.
Gordy. Dude, I think Gordy is the nast. That sounds like the fucking skin between your butt and your balls.
It's like someone who has like warts all over their dick.
Sorry, I'm late going out tonight. I got to shave my Gordy.
I just picture like those, those gourds that have like the bumps all over them. You picture someone who looks like that fucking hunchback from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo.
Man. Yeah. Oh, Gordy. You motherfucker, Gordy.
You poor Gordy. That's how you know your parents hated you.
Yeah. If I had an imaginary friend named Gordy, my dad would fucking beat the shit out of me until Gordy didn't want to hang out with me anymore. Gordy. What's his name, buddy? Gordy.
Well, if your name's Gordy and you're listening to this,
we're
real sorry. Yeah, if your name's Gordy, please send us an email, broadpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how shitty your childhood was.
Shut the fuck up. Now, Gordy would sit with her. He'd tell her stories, swing back and forth with her, push her on the swing. He would even hold her hand when they were walking around the yard.
Oh, what a gentleman.
But with a name like Gordy, that automatically makes you a sex offender. I do know that.
You shouldn't have been 500 yards within her house, buddy.
Gordy is nicknamed for my penis. That's why I'm so standoffish right now. Quote, this is Heidi at an older age. Quote, I'm sorry, this is the mom, a quote from the mother. She said, I would see her out in the yard talking about little Heidi and see her hand raised, holding someone's hand.
Ooh.
Many times I would hear her talking, but never heard anybody talk back. Now, Heidi's parents were certain and adamant that this was an imaginary friend. Heidi would insist over and over again that this was Gordy was a real man.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, Gordy's real. Much like all of them, he was real, just like her parents. And she would say that. She'd say, Gordy is just like you guys. He's real. And she was not imagining anything. But then she started to experience more visitors than just Gordy. There was other people that started to show up. And I think I would like to play the clip from YouTube now.
Ooh, yes, please.
Of the family speaking about the kind of in the thing on YouTube, they kind of explain it like, okay, dad was at work, and then mom said, "Hey, the fuck you talking to fucking Gordy?" So then she gets on the phone. She's, "Hey, Bill or Andy, she's seen some fucking guy in the backyard." So then Andy's like, "I'll come home right fucking now, look for his ghost." So he drives home from work. He's out cruising around the neighborhood looking for this ghost because he doesn't know it's he thinks it's a real guy.
Right. He thinks it's some pedo.
Fuck named Gordy in the backyard dressed up in suit trying to get my daughter on the love swing.
Naturally, you think it looks like a fucking hog.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna come home from work right now. And this is in the act. So you're gonna hear them say, I called him at work and he came home to get the ghost. He came home to get the man. But then it's going to do the dramatic reenactment, and it's going to be her on the phone like, I need you to come home and get this man. It's the same people doing the acting.
Oh, that's so funny.
Actually lived they're hillbillies.
That's so funny.
And they're doing the reenactments, but they're also the ones telling the story.
That's so cheap.
They couldn't afford
real actors. They couldn't even afford real actors.
I have a price. I could have made myself available.
Right, yeah. I feel like you could have definitely nailed that part, too.
Well, let's play this.
All
right, let's play this for him. This is fucking stupid.
The Wyricks moved in and began turning the house into a home.
We were just trying to make do with what we had, and we did. We were happy as anybody could be.
That was the mom. That was the actual mother.
Southern accent is so pretty and sweet.
She also does the acting for the mother.
Same person. So weird, such a weird concept.
I don't know if that's the real daughter or not.
She loved it. The yard was big, and I didn't ever seem to have to worry about her.
Her daughter's in the front yard playing with these little ponies, toys.
I want to say it was in March. It was late in the afternoon. Andy was at work. And Heidi had wanted to go out to play.
Just watching her out the window.
Are you having a tea party?
God damn, that's Gordy.
Are you having a tea party? The guy in this video is older than my fucking, older than my grandpa's dick. He's not just my grandpa, just his dick.
Which his dick is a lot older than his grandpa.
He looks like my grandpa's dick. Holy shit!
Trust me, that play in the backyard.
That image is scarred into my head, so I know exactly what that looks like.
And then Gordy walks up in his suit. He says, "Are you having a tea party?"
God damn it, Gordy!
What's your name? My name's Gordy.
Wow. Okay.
Are you having a tea party? Mind if I join you?
God, so creepy.
My name is Mr. Gordy. What is your name?
Heidi.
How old are you? Heidi, would you like to go swing on my swing with me?
Oh my God.
They're doing a voiceover for the old man, which is weird.
Is it a voiceover?
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking shitty voiceover. She shrugs.
Oh,
she runs inside.
Go swing on the swing with the man.
What man?
Hold on a second.
Mama, can I go swing on the swing with the man?
What man?
What does he look like? Nobody
With
out
people
there.
that we don't know. Don't talk to anyone or play with anyone.
So at this point, they think it's a
Stranger
real
danger.
man.
And just like you said, I can't stress enough the fact that how weird it is that the real people involved are doing the reenactments. So they're like we touched on this like before. Like, what did they make? Because like at the beginning of the video, they're like moving into this house. Like, did they make them pack all their shit up?
Yeah, I think
and leave the house and bring it all back in.
Are you having yourself a tea party?
So weird.
You sit right here.
You want to
Don't call your
swing on
dad.
my
Wants to
swing?
kidnap her. First thing that come to mind is somebody wants to kidnap her.
Sure.
I guess that'd be any parent's first reaction. Can I please speak to Andy?
Yeah, that corded phone.
Yep.
Classic.
Andy, it's your wife. Hello.
Andy, can you please come
He's shoveling manure.
What's the matter?
Heidi said there was a man outside.
A man?
He wants her to come outside and play.
You keep her inside and don't let her go out. You keep all the doors locked. And I'll be just as fast as I can get there.
I think I can get there. Hey, that's Gordy, man. Don't fuck with Gordy.
Play with people that we don't know.
His fucking swing set rules. I was over there last night. That thing's got like fucking 4 slides on it. Goddamn.
I was swinging on his swing.
I was going up above the bar and everything. Goddamn it.
He got a big old dip in. Look at him.
Yeah, he does.
Dramatic stuff.
That's all I know.
Oh, he's grabbing a fucking
Oh,
gun.
hell yeah, he
And
is.
don't go outside.
Fucking America.
That's got to be the worst thing that could happen to a parent in the world.
Looks
For
carrying a
your
little
kid
pussy
to
ass
come up
9mm.
missing. And it just sent me into a rage.
That truck has velvet seats.
It does. You know how excited he probably was to drive that truck that fast on that road with a fucking gun hanging out of the window?
Yes.
It's definitely a prop gun. Or
His 9mm hollow
gun.
point. He's fucking can't kill a dog with that gun.
like shit, I'll be right home. And Rob was being legit. The dude was like fucking throwing around bags of cow shit whenever
It's like, is he moving manure?
the manager walked up. Hey, Andy, it's your wife.
It's just funny because you could tell that like they definitely knew what was going on. So like he reacted really quickly to get the phone.
Yeah, I think. Let me see if I can get back to it real quick.
Like he had just set down the bag of manure and like immediately grabbed the. First off, wash your fucking hands before you grab my phone,
Are
bro.
you having a tea party?
Are you having
Mind if
yourself
I
a
join you?
tea party?
My name is Mr. Gordy. What is your name?
My name is Mr. Gordy. I would love if you just slid down my slide.
So fucking weird, man. Oh, fucking Gordy, man.
God bless him. Oh, Gordy.
No, he would. She started to tell her parents that there were other people inside the house and other, maybe not even people, but there were animals as well. I'm trying to, okay. Heidi would insist over and over that this was a real man, but much like us, she thought he was real, but they haven't determined if he is or not yet. But she started to experience more visitors than just Gordy. One day, a man appeared at their front door. Andrew was occupied at the back of the home. I read in the research that it was Andy that was home, but the video says it was the wife that was home. And Heidi was all alone in the living room, sitting by the front door, the front screen door. The man knocked on the door, and when Heidi went to the door, he said his name was Con, C-O-N, and he needed help. He was wearing a white T-shirt covered in blood, along with a heavily bandaged hand.
Okay.
Heidi ran to get her father, and upon returning to the front door, no one was there. Andrew was under the impression that someone came to the front door in an attempt to abduct his daughter.
Ooh.
So he searched all over the neighborhood at this point. I think in the video, they kind of just combine it all together, but they are two separate incidents. Whenever the guy was at the front door covered in blood, that's when he got in his truck and kind of drove out into town looking for somebody covered in blood. But he never found anyone. He never located anyone. And this put put the mom and dad, Andy and his wife, put their senses in high gear going forward, making them feel a little uneasy with what their daughter was doing out in the yard. Now he said, "My name's Gordy, and I think I've got a long droopy, dick, a long stretchy sack." Well, Lisa's sister, Andy's wife, Lisa's sister, she lived nearby. Now I think she might have lived just a couple houses away, and she had done so for quite some time. So she was very familiar with the area. She was familiar with a lot of the townspeople. She had a lot of information just from being in the area for such a long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And when Lisa told her sister what was going on, her sister was absolutely stunned. They started doing some research, and they found out there was that the house that the family was living in was once owned by a man named James S. Gordy, but he had died in 1974. And the physical description that Heidi had given matched Mr. Gordy perfectly.
Damn.
While it was shocking, what made it even more unsettling was there was no way their daughter Heidi could have known any information about this Mr. James Gordy. Now, inspired by the findings of Gordy, they continued to do some digging on the property, and they've found a story that they wanted to investigate. They talked to an older woman that used to live next door.
Okay.
And the older woman that lived next door, her name was Catherine Ledford, but she had since moved away. But when they talked to her, she said that she had an uncle named Lon Con. So his nickname was Con, C-O-N.
Okay.
Just like the guy at the front door that was covered in blood. They had an uncle named Con Batchelor who mauled his hand in a cotton gin accident, but he went on to pass away, unfortunately, in 1957 from cancer. They talked to Catherine, who showed them some old photos of Uncle Con. They took the pictures of Uncle Con. There was a lot of males in the picture, but they took the pictures and they showed them to young Heidi, and immediately upon seeing the pictures, Heidi was able to identify Uncle Con.
Oh, shit.
Right off the get-go, and picked him out as the man that was all bloody to the front door. She said, that guy right there standing next to the car is the same guy that was at our front door that was covered in blood.
Oh, man.
That's Con. Pretty heavy shit right there. While all of this is still playing out, Heidi is still claiming she is seeing different people all around the property, even seeing animals wandering around the property. Taking that information and coupling it with the discoveries of Uncle Con and Gordy, they were starting to understand that their daughter was seeing some shit that maybe wasn't from this earth. Maybe it was from the other side. They wanted to distract Heidi, so the best way to distract a child is to get him a dog. That's what they did. They got her a dog.
Okay.
And they brought this dog home. I think the dog was already a little bit older.
Until the dog starts humping the ghost dogs.
Well, the dog would just fucking stare in the corners and bark. Lisa and Andy said that this dog was always in a fight. The dog was never physically fighting with people or animals, but the hair was always standing up on the dog's neck. It was always staring in the corners, the ceiling, and growling and barking. This dog was always in a fight, like he was under some type of duress. And the way the dog growled and stared in the corners and barked at nothing, it scared Andrew and Lisa, as the dog always seemed like it was in a confrontation, yet no one was around. The dog eventually ran away and never came back.
Damn,
Yeah,
he'd had enough.
He said, "Have you met my friend Gordy out in the backyard?" The dog eventually ran away and was never found, unfortunately. The parents started to experience what they believed to be supernatural occurrences. So not only was Heidi going through some shit, now the parents were experiencing some things. Objects moving across the house, doors opening and closing. Sometimes I just want my house to be haunted so bad.
Man, me too.
Never happens. Never works in my favor.
Yeah.
I don't want to do one of them Ouija boards because I don't want my kids to get some fucking shit they can't get rid of.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
It is what it is, man. Now, one day Heidi was playing with a real friend in the living room, and her mom was sitting by watching as the two played. Lisa, the mother, claimed the chair was yanked from under the dining room table and flipped over like it had been performed by some type of invisible force. Gordy! That was old Gordy. Lisa also said that on some nights when she was all alone, something or someone would whisper her name into her own ear. And then when she would look around, nobody would be around.
Hey, Lisa, it's Gordy. Where's that daughter of yours? Where's that daughter of yours?
I just fell down and hurt my nut. I squished my nut. You ever get your nuts ever get bunched up just right when you're walking? They start just like flopping back. They kind of like trade spaces, almost like
like they're just moving around each other.
They're hurting. It hurts.
I sat on one before. That shit sucks too.
You sat on
in the summer when you got real low nuts. You know, you can tell the temperature by looking at your sack.
I was on
like, oh man, looks like it's about 92 today.
I was sitting on a bench in the park when I sat down, and my nuts went all the way behind me. Fortunately, they went so far behind me, I didn't sit on them. They were just hanging out of my ass. They're about 4 or 5 inches past my back. I said,
"Oh yeah,
wow, that was a close one." But then someone sat down behind me and they sat on my nuts for me.
Been there, man.
And then I had to be like, "Look, hey kid, you're sitting on my nuts. Let's get you off there."
Sorry, mister.
Sorry, Gordy.
Sorry, Gordy.
Lisa, kind of with the unsettling, the voice is starting to talk to her during the night. That's when she said, okay, there might be something going on here that we need a professional for. So she reached out to her pastor to tell her pastor about what was going on inside her home.
He'll set it right.
He said, well, the glory of God, I'll come to your house. I'm going to take a big old fat stinky shit in your toilet after I'm done shitting. That's what we should do. What a beautiful YouTube prank.
That would be a holy shit.
We could just tell people. It's holy shit. We put up some ads and shit like we're demonologists and stuff and, paranormal investigators. And we're looking to, do an investigation. And then someone invites us over and we just poop in their toilet.
And just leave.
Just upper deck them.
Oh, fuck.
I'll tell you what, this Heidi girl, she was just fucking ahead of her time, dude. Because someone right now today, a kid that had an imaginary friend named Gordy would start a fucking YouTube channel and there would be Gordy shirts and Gordy dolls. But this
Gordy the ghost,
she'd be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You're really missing out. She's a trailblazer is what she was.
Right.
She was completely upfront with her pastor, and she believed they were in the midst of a wicked haunting.
Oh, man.
The pastor said that ghosts aren't real, but demons, in fact, are real. They went on to stay in the home for several more years with all the activity going on around them, eventually becoming, Lisa become pregnant with, it was very conflicting reports, whether it was a boy or a girl. The child's name would eventually become Jordan, but I don't know if it was a male or female.
Yeah, that's still not a telling name.
Yeah. When she got pregnant, Heidi changed her tune on the spirits that were inside the home. So up until this point, Gordy, Con, all of these people that were kind of moving around the property that Heidi was communicating with, Heidi would claim that, hey, what you're seeing is good. the ghost that you're seeing is a good ghost.
Yeah.
It's a nice ghost. But then after Mom got pregnant with Jordan, that's when Heidi started to come forward and said, hey, some of these motherfuckers we got in here right now, they're on some fuck shit.
It's trifling.
Anytime your 8-year-old comes to you and tells you that somebody in their life is on some fuck shit, you got to listen to them.
No, definitely.
Say, hey, you're on some fuck shit.
Yeah, especially if it's that specific vernacular. If they learn that, they know there's some literal fuck shit going on.
I was we used Chewy to get dog food for the dogs.
Yeah,
good delivery service for animal food.
Sure.
I got a big old bag of dog food and I was dumping it in the plastic container in the kitchen. And I know that when I dump this dog food into this container, it goes up to the brim, like it's gonna fall over, but it goes perfectly to the top. So I'm pouring it out and it's all flying out, and I look behind me, and Paisley, my 4-year-old, standing behind me. She's like, "Wow!" I said, "Oh yeah, a lot of dog food." I'm shaking it all out. A lot of dog food over here, and it gets to the top, and it's almost overflowing, but then it stops, and she goes, "Jesus Christ!" I said, "Who taught you to say that?" And she went, she started crying really hard and took off running, and she ran to her bed. And she's got this new fucking bunk bed with a slide on it.
Yeah.
She climbed up there. So it's like a fucking chore to go cry in your bed.
Sure.
And she climbed up and she's crying. I said, "Where did you hear that?" And she went, "Hear what?" And she's like ugly crying. I'm like, "You said Jesus Christ in the kitchen. Why'd you say that?" She said, "You say it."
Oh.
I was like, "Listen here, you little fucking jerk."
Oh, she's so funny.
Yeah, man. I said, "Sweetie, that's not a nice thing to say." I say it. I've got a lot of things.
But Daddy's a big boy.
Between me and God, we're working out a lot of stuff in our relationship.
We're figuring stuff out.
You are still young and innocent. You must not use the Lord's name in vain. So, but she went, "Jesus Christ." I was laughing, dude.
It's so funny whenever they know what context to use those words.
I know.
It's like, how? They're so smart.
That's cut from hanging out with our dumbasses is what it is.
Yeah, that's...
Heidi started to refer to this bad thing, this dark figure. She would call it bad, and it would appear as a dark shadow in her room. Heidi said the dark figure would make her room colder and said that the dark figure had pulled her hair as well.
Oh, man.
And late one early morning, Heidi woke up in the dead of sleep to find 3 deep scratches on her cheek. And she went into her parents' room, and her parents assumed that she had inflicted the damage on herself somehow, that she did it to herself, and they made her go back to bed with the scratches on her face. What a fucking dad that is. I'm in there flipping mattresses, looking in closets and shit.
Yeah.
I got my...
okay, you can come sleep with us.
Yeah. Come out, motherfucker. And they sent her back to her room and told her to go back to sleep. When the dad, Andy, woke up the next day, he had deep scratches on his face and what appeared to be claw marks on his side as well. So whatever fucked her face up in the middle of the night came back and got Dad, because Dad wasn't believing, So it came back in the middle of the night, and it got Dad as well. Heidi saw the scratches on her father, and Heidi immediately assured him that the dark character, the dark figure, was the entity that inflicted the damage upon him and her. So absolutely fuck all that. You got something in the house that's eating your ass in the middle of the night. Better yet, I want a ghost that'll eat my ass. If it's just leaving claw marks, that's a pain in the ass.
Literally.
But if I just have a ghost that wants to come in the night and eat my butt,
Just slide a tongue in between your cheeks.
I've never officially had my butt eaten by someone I know.
I feel sorry for whoever eats my butt. That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. If you would like to eat my butt, send me an email, brahiopodcast@gmail.com. I would bring some A1 steak sauce because you can put that shit on a lot of stuff and make
That's
it
universal.
taste good. It is universal. I would say some sauteed onions
Yum.
and steak sauce.
Or the spicy mustard from the hot mustard from McDonald's. That's my shit.
I just feel like, and ladies just naturally have clean buttholes, I think.
Isn't it? It's so weird.
Yeah. I feel like if my wife went to the gym and rode a fucking camel for 6 miles and I ate her butt afterwards, it would still be okay.
Man, they keep them nice little pretty pink buttholes. Ours are like brown and black and crusty and look like an elephant's knee.
You know that one spot in your yard that's kind of low, but like when it rains a lot, it gets really like fucking
muddy and
squishy and stinky. I think that's what my butthole is always like, no matter how. Dude, I swear to God, and usually I got a loofah in the shower, which some people are like, oh, loofahs are nasty. Okay, but sometimes when I want to wash really good, like a deep clean, I get a washcloth and I'll really go at it, man. But
I had one. I have like these like this little. It's kind of like a loofah, but it's like an exfoliating thing that I use every once in a while whenever I'm feeling like I want to get super sexy and actually make something of myself. I mean, those things are nasty, but still, I mean, it's nice to have them.
And when I wash with a washcloth, I do everything. I get real nice and lathered up. The last thing I do is I put like a 60-second squirt of some Old Spice on there.
Okay.
And I just rigorously fucking scrub my butthole.
Yeah.
I scrub it like, the little ladies at the nail place scrub the shit off your heels.
Yeah.
So I scrub my asshole.
Okay. So you really get in there.
Yes. And I swear to God, I will let the water blast it for 40.
Hell yeah, you got to.
50, 60, 70 seconds.
Spread your butt a little bit and just let it trickle down your ass.
And as a test, I'll get out of the shower and sit on the toilet, take some unmolested toilet paper.
Yep.
I'll wipe my ass with it. Big old fucking brown streak on the toilet paper.
Never fails.
Doesn't matter what I do. It's like someone shoved a pack of crayons up my ass, a pack of brown crayons up my ass.
It's just a big stinky marker you're wiping.
You literally marinate me in the bathtub for 30, 40 minutes.
It's like watercolors.
Install a bidet in the toilet that just blasts my ass.
Yeah, man, it doesn't matter.
And then I get out of the bath, I wipe just a taste test just to make sure that if something were to go down, I might be ready. I can't.
It's like there's enough poop in your colon to where you cut it off. There's still some waiting to come out. It's just been cut off and just waiting.
It just gets put. It's like when you.
It's like at the queue.
At the gas station when you pull the Coke out and just another one slides down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my butthole's like.
Like the mechanical pencils where you had to pull out the lead and put it in the bottom. To push up the other one?
Yeah, I'm in there scrubbing my butthole, and my butthole's just like, yeah, man, keep scrubbing it, because we're just going to bring more out here. We've been waiting to take the trash out for about 7 years in this fucking place.
Oh, shit.
So I'm operating under the belief that I'll never have my butt eaten.
You'll never have a perfectly clean asshole.
Unfortunately, I will not.
Oh, man.
It is what it is, though, man. It's a tough life. That's my trade-off. I'm funny and people like me,
but you got a dirty asshole.
I have a perpetually dirty butthole.
Oh man,
maybe I'm doing something wrong.
No man, I think as a guy, I think that's how it is. It's just how it is. If your man has a perfectly clean asshole all the time, please send us an email, brohopodcast@gmail.com.
And I also
want to learn his tricks. I use wipes and my shit's still. Good. It's still whack.
Okay.
It's still whack. It's still fucking dirty. No matter what I do, unless I put a finger up in there and scoop it out.
And I asked my dad about this, and he said, "You're probably scrubbing it so hard you're making yourself bleed. So then when you get out of the shower, wipe. It's just a little bit of blood. You're spotting. You're lighting your cycle.
You're starting your period."
That was what he had to say about that. Okay, so in 1994, their son, I believe it was their son, Jordan was finally born. They would eventually reach out to a parapsychologist because things just were not settling down on the property. And they explained everything to the parapsychologist, which a parapsychologist is like the Ghostbusters. That's what those guys
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
It's
The
cool,
paranormal psychologist, pretty much is what it is.
And his name was Dr. Roll. Dr. Roll brought a bunch of pictures to the house.
Never gonna give you up. Oh, that's a Rick roll. Okay.
He brought a bunch of pictures to the house, and
Okay.
Heidi was immediately able to identify the characters seen around the property in the pictures.
Okay.
Even despite all that, with the pictures, Dr. Roll said, "Your daughter Heidi, she's suffering from delusions." So that's the diagnosis.
The
that he
clinical
gave.
diagnosis.
Yeah, and at one point, the entity inside the home, the dark figure, picked up Heidi completely off the ground and was hanging her upside down by her feet in one incident. Somehow the media kind of caught wind of what was going on, and shortly thereafter, and they tried to turn the whole entire thing into a circus, it seemed like. But one reporter, one guy, he was coming out to do a story on the family. He drove out and he got into the driveway and he literally walked up to the house, and he said he felt such pressure on his chest and on just negative energy, just this feeling of doom and wanting to die.
Oh, damn.
That he couldn't even walk inside the house, didn't even interview the family, got right back in his car and leave and said, something that is fucked up with that place. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
How I feel on Mondays.
Yeah, that's how I feel after I've scrubbed my butthole in the shower for 30 minutes and get out and I still have
Brillo padded your asshole.
Still got poop residue on my... How do I get all the poop off? You gotta quit pooping.
Here's like fucking chipping away layers with a chisel.
I go to my doctor's like, well, how many times a day do you poop? I'm like, a lot, dude. 5 or 6.
Depends on the day. Depends what I ate.
5 or 6 or 7. I don't know. There's people out there that have like irritable bowel that legit shit 8 to 10 times a day.
Dude.
Wouldn't that be miserable?
If I do more than 2 a day, my asshole is like barking at me.
I get one good power move once a day.
I wake up in the morning and then usually towards the end of the night, and I'm like, you know what?
Sometimes I
eat way too much.
This is an old family trick. If I hold it all day long and come home and shit, it raises me up off the toilet. I can ride it across the bathroom like a fucking seahorse, like a dragon. I can. Yeah.
One thing I found out is that amongst my travels is that it's like you'll overflow. So if I shit twice, I can come a lot more later. If I shit once, it's like I can only it balances itself out. It's like a normal amount.
You ever try to hold a fart in while you're coming?
You shit everywhere.
It's hard work, man.
Yeah, it's like Kegels. It's like a male Kegel.
I was tearing it up the other night and it was like it's like one of those
man,
one of those little baby squeaker just under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
She said, "What was that?" I said, "We broke the bed." She said, "Did we really?" I said, "I don't know." And I just kept going. Little did she know it was the pressure fart, what I like to call them.
Oh man. Yeah, you gotta rein those in. Yeah. Those could be deadly.
Now her sister, Lisa's sister, she started to talk about how their mother, she would see things and hear voices whenever they were kids. So maybe it ran in the family, and that was the belief at that time. After this discussion, Lisa and Joyce, which was the sister's name, Joyce, so they began to experience more paranormal activity. This is after them talking about how their mom used to see things and hear things. Lisa found her son Jordan speaking to someone when he was also about the age of 3. Jordan told her that he was playing with a new friend who was a little girl.
Okay.
Heidi told her that this little girl was friendly, but this didn't make Lisa feel any better. Dr. Roll was called again. Dr. Dinner Roll was called again and now believed that seeing spirits indeed ran in the family. He called a well-known psychic and asked her to come to the home. The psychic instantly sensed a little girl inside the home, as well as a spirit that she believed to be named Mr. Gordy.
Oh, damn.
The psychic also said that there were 3 dark spirits inside the home, which would kind of explain the demonic activity that they were experiencing. The family wanted more answers and called for a second psychic to come. We need a second opinion on this. Every time he wipes his butt, there's poop on it. No matter how many... We got to get a second doctor to look at his butthole. The second doctor would be like, yeah, man, looks like a loose meat sandwich. It's fucked up. There's no sphincter. Look at this. I pull the sphincter apart. It doesn't even stretch back.
There's no elasticity in his sphincter.
It's gone. It's not even a butthole anymore. It's a butt door. The second psychic said that there were 3 demonic entities in the home as well. If you have a butt door, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com.
It's like you move into a house and you get a dog door for like the Great Dane that you had, and then the Great Dane dies and you get a Yorkie. Fucking the rest of the years, it's like there's way too much room for it to squeeze out of.
Oh man, you fart. It sounds like somebody with emphysema.
It's like it echoes.
Sounds like a fucking dog about to die.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we're even talking about a subject. Let's keep going.
She said that one of the demons were trying to live in Jordan's room. She said there was a second demon trying to attach itself to Heidi, but that a good spirit was fighting it off. So there was a good spirit inside the home that was working in favor of the brother and sister.
Okay.
They also believe this good spirit to be Mr. Gordy.
Oh, I love
the
Mr.
psychic
Gordy.
said that the third demon would travel between the living room and the wall over the parents' bed. The psychic told them that there was a portal in the family's living room between the spirit world and the real world. She told them that the demonic entities could find their way through the portal and would not want to leave. And she said the portal was in the fireplace and that everything that had come through was sticking around, unfortunately. Feeling helpless, the family asked their pastor to come and cleanse the house of evil spirits, which the pastor did oblige. He came to the house and did what pastors do, getting rid of demons, whatever, the sage and the Bible, whatever. But it didn't seem to work as the family had hoped. One night, Heidi was awakened by a very bad feeling. She sensed a dark presence at the end of her bed. She screamed for her parents, and they ran in and discovered that the evil spirit had yanked her off the bed and was holding her upside down over the floor.
Holy shit.
Want me to come inside here and watch him wipe his butt over and over.
How do people listen to this?
Every time he cleans himself, he just makes his butt worse. Just makes it more poopier.
It's like a 4-year-old. They just wipe their ass and just further up their back. It doesn't even get any poop on the toilet paper. Might as well be wiping my ass with saran wrap, dude.
Oh man, this is fucking off the rail.
It was this incident, her waking up in the middle of the night and being held above the bed by her feet. This was the catalyst for them to say, "Hey, we gotta fucking move." So they moved. Now, as an adult, Heidi she's still seeing spirits. She told a media outlet, quote, "I can sense when it's an evil presence or if it's a good presence.
Makes sense.
If I can sense evil, you wouldn't believe the feelings you can get. I've been literally sick to my stomach."
Which, I mean, we talked to Brett a little bit about this, about like the differentiating between the good spirits and the bad spirits. I mean, it kind of falls in line a little bit.
It does, and I think that there is certainly a difference. There has to be a difference. Good and evil. There has to be a difference.
Yeah, there can't be good without evil.
Despite her encounters with the paranormal, Heidi went on to live a seemingly normal life. She got married and had kids of her own. After all the media attention her story received, Heidi was able to connect with a multitude of people who shared similar experiences of the supernatural. I want to say her encounters, their story was featured in an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Robert Stack, Unsolved Mysteries.
Having yourself a tea party.
Hello there, you have
it had to have been. I think it's called the Haunting in Connecticut too, or I can't. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's probably something different.
Let's see. Her name was Heidi Wyrick. Haunting. Yeah, Haunting in here. The Haunting in Connecticut too. Ghosts of Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll go this one. The Wyrick House. Yes, Unsolved Mysteries. The Wyrick House.
Dude, that's the actor that played Gordy right there. James
Looks
Gordy.
just like it. That's pictures. That's Con,
Oh man,
and that's James Gordy.
that's scary, dog.
It looks like Mr. Gordy.
Hello there. I see you're having a tea party.
This is my child.
Mind if I come and show you how low my nuts hang?
Came home and she was swinging from this old fat man's balls.
He was cradling her like a hammock.
I built a swing out there on the tree, but Mr. Gordy,
Leave it to kids and not use anything that you give them.
Every time I played with Mr. Gordy when I was little, I used to swing from his balls. There's nothing wrong with it. He's a good wiper. Doesn't even stings.
Cleanest butthole you ever seen.
I could really use some tips, tricks, and hacks on how to get myself clean.
Yeah, please. send your butthole hacks.
Sometimes I walk out in the living room in the middle of the night and the cat is sitting there like a human with its face buried between its butthole, just licking it. Just like, maybe that's why cats have such clean buttholes, because they can just suck the poop out. Just. All right, guys, we'll hang around for the interview. Thank you so much for checking us out. We're the Brohio Podcast, and this is Brett.
No, it's not.
Huh?
You're saying you're talking. I thought you were saying you're Brett. I was like, you're not Brett. You already forget who you are.
I'm Delicious Nicolicious, my friend.
And I'm Rob Dog, and this interview is with Brett.
And it was a good day. I'm going to tell you why. Because I had tamales delivered to my front door by Texas Lone Star Tamales. It's finally that time of the year that the air is rich with the smell of delicious holiday dinners. So this holiday season, bring home the authentic taste of gourmet Mexican cuisine. Their homemade tamale recipe combines the perfect balance of masa, finely shredded meats, peppers, and spices, hand-rolled in natural corn husks. The natural flavors will have you wanting these tamales every holiday, every day for that matter. We knew that the holidays are a busy time and you'll be flying around trying to get everything ready for your family and friends, but thankfully you can ease your stress. The Texas Lone Star Tamale family will help take care of the food. Their fast delivery will have your tamales at your door before you know it. They also want you to spend most of your time with the family, so their tamales follow a simple two-step process and are ready to go. As a holiday gift from the Brohio family to yours, use the coupon code BROHIO at checkout to receive a free dozen 12 gourmet tamales with your next order. Make your experience authentic. Shop now at Texas Lone Star Tamales. Guys, we got some in a cooler at our front doors. They're absolutely freaking delicious. Go try them out. 12 free tamales. Use the promo code BROHIO. We have another cool sponsor heading your way, guys. As fall gets you back into the swing of things, Bespoke Post is here with a new seasonal lineup of must-have boxes of awesomeness collections. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month. I was taking a look at what comes in these Bespoke boxes. These are perfect for anybody. They come with all kinds of I saw wallets, knives, keychains, everything that your husband, your boyfriend will love. Go check it out because it's going to be a gift they're not expecting, but they're going to love everything inside of it. No matter what you're into, a box of awesome has you covered. From autumn craft beers to cozy threads and camping gear essentials, Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. And again, guys, there's awesome stuff that comes in these Box of Awesome. I saw bourbon glasses, overnight bags, cast iron skillets. It's all there. It's all waiting for you to unlock. Go check it out. To get started, you just got to take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box costs only $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. And I can't reiterate this enough. These are perfect gifts, guys. Plus, with each box of awesome, you're supporting small business. 90% of everything that comes in your box of awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand. And right now, you can save 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the promo code BROHIO, BROHIO, at checkout. That is boxofawesome.com. Use a promo code BROHIO for 20% off. So that's going to be less than $45. You're going to get $70 worth of stuff, cast iron skillets, knives, incredible stuff, badger brushes for shaving, straight razors, belts, knives, headphones, axes, cologne. Go check them out. Boxofawesome.com, promo code BROHIO. let's face it, guys, around the holidays, it can be a rough time. Some people are lonely. Some people are just going through stuff. And if you are one of those people that are struggling right now, I've got a lifeline for you. BetterHelp.com. They're going to help you with all of your mental health needs, no matter what is interfering with your happiness. You can connect in a safe and private online environment, and it's completely convenient, and you can start communicating in under 24 hours. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling. You can send a message to your counselor anytime, guys, no matter what you're dealing with: trauma, sleeping, a bad relationship, anxiety, stress, depression, anger, family conflicts, grief, self-esteem. Anything you share is confidential. It's convenient. It's going to be professional help for your mental health, and they can help you today, guys. There's all kinds of testimonials on their website, and you can check them out. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener of the Brohio podcast, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting BetterHelp.com/Brohio. Again, BetterHelp.com/Brohio. Join over 1 million people, 1 million, taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Brohio. And we're here with our guest of the show, Brett. How are you doing, man? I'm happy. I'm honored to have you on the show.
Yeah, it seems fun. You guys seem like a fun couple of dudes to talk to.
we're something.
Hopefully we'll have a good time here.
Yeah, we are something. The way we were looking for a psychic medium clairvoyant. I found Brett on Twitter, but you guys can find him on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Brett Carstens. That's CARSTENS. He's got a YouTube channel with all kinds of killer videos. We were just talking about how we both hate editing. Well, he didn't say he hated editing, but I was telling him how much I hate editing.
Yeah.
But you got a killer YouTube channel going on, man. That's pretty good stuff.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I ride around and talk to spirits. Just ride around on my motorcycle for, a few weeks at a time, or maybe a month even. I've got a wife that'll let me do that. So I get to go out and have an adventure.
And the cool part about this interview is we know next to nilch about Brett. I just know kind of like going through your YouTube channel and your Twitter, kind of seeing what you're about. I was going to read your About Me from your website, which he does have a website. I believe it's Brett Carstens. Yeah, it's brettcarstens.com. You guys can go to his website, but I would check out his YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff.
Fuck the website. Go to YouTube.
Everyone's like, everyone wants media now, but
that's true.
You have a good website that explains everything and all the ways that you help people, and lots of different things to check out on your website. So they're both, check out both of them.
Yeah, and you guys can plug me with that stuff over and over again. That's
sure,
cool.
Man. You're gonna get some really fun people reaching out to you after this episode.
Oh no!
Yeah. So we'll kind of take us through
the beginnings.
I guess what you consider yourself, and before we get going too crazy here, there's going to be times in the interview where I ask you, like, what's it sound like when you hear the voices? But I don't want to say when you hear the voices, because not like you're schizophrenic. So is there like a proper way to say, like, what? Like,
I would go with the when you hear the voices. I mean, yeah, there's I think a lot of the people out there, like, I'm in LA and we've got homeless people all over the place.
Yeah.
And there's some of these people walking around and they are like having these full on conversations and yelling at people and all this stuff. And there's nobody else around.
Yeah. It's called schizophrenia, Brett.
I think some of them do. Some of them are psychic and they're dealing with some sort of spirits hanging around and hassling them. So there's a fine line, and it's just kind of difficult to figure out where our psychic impressions leave off and something else might be coming in, because it uses our psychic abilities often use the same space that our imagination uses. And it's hard to discern what's what. The thing that ends up giving you the big clues is validation. You're talking about something random comes in your head. you blurt it out. You have to trust what it is and have the experience. And you say it, and the person you're talking to starts crying about what you're saying. And it's like, yeah, this is legit. You know, I'm talking about them going with their grandfather to Sizzler every Sunday after church.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's not something that I'm just going to come up with.
Yeah. I can dig that, man.
I've thought about things like that before. Like maybe, you know, the people that we possibly think are schizophrenic, maybe they're really not, and they are seeing things. Or on the other hand, like where my father-in-law, he had dementia and Alzheimer's really bad, he would see things, and he would think things were happening that really weren't. And I would always tell my wife, like, what if they really were though? Like there was this one time where like he always insisted like he was talking to people on QVC.
Yeah.
Like, he would watch it and he'd be like, did you see that? She just waved at me. And one time, dude, I swear, I think I've told this story before, he was like, watch this, and he waved at her, and then like she legit waved. Wow, okay. It was just, you know, it was just like a perfect timing type thing.
Perfect.
But it was like, you never know, man. What if this stuff, you know, what if there really is more to it? And
what if there is?
You don't know.
I think you're messing with my paradigm. Like, QVC, I'm going to start watching that.
Yeah. Well, Brett,
get you some good rings.
Take us to the beginning. You've been doing like paranormal research, investigating for quite some time, but you also kind of have the caveat of the psychic medium stuff. So kind of how did all of this start? I think I read about it. You kind of were stuck in a lot of haunted houses as a kid.
Yeah. My parents they knew how to pick them. When I was about 8 years old, I moved into this one house, and I didn't know what was going on, but all of a sudden my senses, my sight and my hearing just kind of tune out and tune into this other world. And it's this woman coming to me in spirit. Basically I want to say your basic horror movie kind of ghost, you know, where it's special effects and all that.
Yeah.
You know, semi-transparent, white. I can't remember if this one had any sort of like veil or sheet kind of thing going on with her, but she comes up to me and she's like trying desperately to communicate with me. And I couldn't understand what she was saying. I didn't know what was happening. And I'm 8 years old, sitting in the garage, you know, waiting for, you know, watching the movers bring boxes into our brand new house. And like she finally figured out that she was scaring me and I couldn't help her. I couldn't do whatever it was she wanted. And so she took off and she leaves. My vision and hearing and everything come back to reality. And I just start, you know, crying because I'm just overwhelmed. And I'm pretty sure that's a typical kind of experience for little kids who are psychic or who are mediums. You know, you have something coming on and it's overwhelming. So you don't know what it is.
It's common to I guess, realize your gifts at a young age. I was under maybe the understanding that it took a while, you know, you had to work on it till you're an adult or something, but you're saying that it's pretty normal for it to come at a very young age?
I think so. I think I think it can be learned. I think we can learn how to do it, but I also think that some people are just born with these kind of abilities, or they have a knack for it. I think we can all do it. It's just, you know, how much talent we have in a certain way or whatever. And so like I'm a little kid and you think, oh, okay, you're a psychic medium. You know what's going on. Nah, into my teens, I was still having experiences like this and I just didn't know what was happening. And as a teen, I was like, oh, I can read playing cards, kind of like doing it like tarot cards. And I would, you know, read my friends' futures or whatever. Right. Mm-hmm. And I never thought of myself as a psychic or medium. This was just something I did. And then in the, later on, I think it was like when the show Ghost Hunters came out, they were kind of legitimizing like paranormal investigation as the thing. Right. And so I had been doing this stuff kind of all my life. I was always like, I would see ghosts in my house and grab a camera and try to go get a picture, or, you know, I'd see something and then I'd go around the house with a flashlight trying to find what it was. And I mean, we had stuff going on all the time and the whole family would see it. So yeah, Ghost Adventures comes out and it kind of like says, oh, there's this whole group of people out there doing the same thing, and meetups started and people would do all sorts of things. And so I was doing stuff with them, with these little paranormal groups, and they would have psychics or mediums with them. And I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And they'd tell me, and I would just do it. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Yeah. And so I just kind of developed into like, wow, I can do this. And wait a second, when I was a kid, I was doing this and had no idea what this was. And so I kind of owned it and I've been running with it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to ask you to, you know, try and, you know, use your abilities tonight on the show, but are there days that, you know, maybe you wake up kind of like first thing in the morning, you know, that you're ultra sensitive that day, and it's just going to be one of those kind of days where there's going to be constant stuff flying through your head, opposed to maybe like a day where you don't really experience anything at all?
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good question. I've been around a lot of other psychics and mediums, and some of them have one angle on it or theory, and then I've got mine. And I feel like sometimes it's seasonal. You'll get into a point, you'll just have a period where the other side, they've got you shut down and you aren't really communicating with them. And every once in a while, it's like something's coming on the horizon and I am not supposed to know about it. And so my spirit guides or my higher self or whatever is going to like kind of close me up to keep me from getting that information, because I'm supposed to be living through it and experiencing it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's heavy.
That's really cool. Yeah.
That's heavy stuff. On your website, you work with people that wish to maybe have some psychic readings, and people can go to your website and look that stuff up. But you say whenever someone reaches out to you, don't tell me any details. I don't want to have any preconceived notions about your situation. And that's one thing that I read that I was like, man, this guy doesn't. Some psychics, you're like, that guy's fishy, man. But I was reading your stuff and you're like, right off the get-go, like, no, I don't want to know anything about you, your situation, but talk to me if you feel like it's something you want to go forward with.
Yeah, it's you know, the getting information beforehand, all that does is mess me up. Because we're receiving information. And if it's not really strong, like if I'm not actually seeing this spirit, it's like, oh, okay, I can see him. I see them. I see their mouth moving. I hear what they're saying. I get all that. That's pretty easy. But if it's just, you're hearing something really lightly in the back of your head or whatever, you're picking up just the faintest impression. You know, it's like, it's hard to differentiate. Like, did that come from my imagination or is that somebody else? Okay. And when it's from your imagination or, you know, too much information, you're like, oh yeah, that's the person that fell off the cliff right here, you know? And it's, you know, you're kind of leading yourself into what you're doing.
Okay.
That was a really long, really long version to get to the point.
That's good. I guess whenever you are at the point where you're really feeling the voices, you're really feeling like a movement in your head. Can you physically see the person that you're talking to inside your brain? Like, I know you can hear their voice, but can you actually see like a physical representation of the spirit you're communicating with on the other side?
Yeah, sometimes it's, I think it depends on how well we jibe with whoever we're connecting with. Okay. So like we'll be in tune with them or something. Yeah. And you know, it's very rare that you're going to see, or that I'm going to see, because everybody's different. It's very rare that I see like, wow, there's a person right here. You know, there's a person standing right here in my room. I can see them. I can't see through them. They look as solid as anything, and then they vanish. That's a rare thing. I have seen something like that.
You do
most of the time.
You do the stuff with your eyes open whenever you do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier to do it with your eyes closed because you don't have anything drawing your attention.
Okay.
Although sometimes the spirit world will work with directing your attention.
Okay.
Like I was explaining this to somebody else. I'm sitting at my computer and I've got a big monitor in front of me, and it's a Dell monitor. And I was doing a reading with somebody, and I keep looking at the word Dell on my monitor. And since I'm doing a reading, it's kind of like everything that you're doing when you're doing a reading is potentially part of the reading. And so I'm like, okay, I am just looking at my monitor and it says Dell on it. And I keep being drawn there. And the person's like, they're blown away. And they're like, that's my uncle.
Uncle Dell.
That's my uncle. My uncle's name is Dell.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And, I sit here and I edit for hours and hours, and I'm at my computer all the time. Like I wouldn't even be able to tell you what kind of monitor it is. It's so not a big deal to me,
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody points it out. That's what I'm looking at.
Have you ever had a spirit present itself to you physically where you can see them, but then they don't communicate at all?
Yeah. Some spirits are just better at appearing, and some are better at getting a feeling to you, and some are better with hearing or voicing something.
And I would assume that probably have a lot to do with how that person was during their actual life.
Yeah, I could
you would
see that.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That makes sense. And then a lot of it has to do with the medium. I can see them, I can hear them, I can feel them. I've smelled them.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
No, that's crazy.
So
I don't know about
it.
I don't know if I want to smell them.
Wow,
He's like,
Yeah, the smelling is not cool.
Well, that's good stuff, man. Now, I think that going back to the beginning, and you kind of, your mom and dad kept on putting you in these haunted houses, and that kind of rolled into when you turned into a teenager and as an adult with just an interest in the paranormal. And now when you go to your YouTube channel, man, you've gone all over the place. You've stayed at Skinwalker Ranch. There's all kinds of places that you've gone, and you've spent time kind of just doing your paranormal thing.
Yeah, we interviewed. Was it John Edmonds? Is that his name?
From Stardust Ranch.
From Stardust. Okay, that was Stardust. Never mind.
Now
It's a star thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I knew it was one of them.
I think, does it make it harder for you to conduct these paranormal investigations, knowing that at any second that you could get inundated with? Because I think if you went to like a traumatic haunting, something where 15 people died or something, 8 people died, whatever, there might be more than one spirit kind of yakking at you if they've been waiting to kind of come through and get their message heard. Does it make it a little more difficult for you to conduct a thorough paranormal investigation, or how does that work for you?
I have pretty weak boundaries with my paranormal stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm open like all the time, and that's not how you're supposed to do it. If you're a psychic or a medium out there, you're supposed to shut down and conserve your energy and, have boundaries so you aren't being hassled by spirits at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes
But
sense.
the way I do it is I'm open pretty much all the time. And it's just a matter of whether or not I'm paying attention. So I've got kind of background noise going on all the time. And so like hitting one of these places where it's like something traumatic has happened. And these are like mental hospitals and prisons and stuff like that.
A lot of people.
Those are some emotionally and mentally unstable spirits,
and that's
like anybody hanging out there. And so they've got stuff to prove to you, and they're not as nice.
Yeah. No, I was a correction officer, and Rob was a correctional officer as well and so we know all about how sad those freaking places can be. They suck.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They do suck. When you're walking down the street, will you oftentimes cross paths with, and you live, I mean, you're from the West Coast, one of the busiest cities in the West Coast. You pass somebody on the street. Have you ever just said, hey, is it cool if I stop and talk to you for a second? Because when I was walking past you, I'm really feeling something. Not like in the weird way, but
hey, let me talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, drop your book.
Like, damn, these street performers are really getting intimate.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had people come up to me and do that, but no.
Oh, really?
The way
okay. He's like,
do you have a minute to talk to you? I understand your question. I know where you're coming from with that, with the like Teresa Caputo, you know, she goes up and like meets somebody in a grocery store and is like, hey, are you open to getting a psychic reading? And then she like hits them with all this info. And I have spirits occasionally like, oh, can you talk to my niece, whatever. And I really don't want to do it because it's kind of like, I don't know what this person is doing in their life. I don't know where they're at. And unless they are asking with their free will, like for a reading, like something I tell them can like totally knock them off track.
Yeah. Man, I never and that's very like noble and respectable of you, to take into consideration, that person's feelings as opposed to, just jumping and throwing something at them they totally weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. It'll totally derail somebody. You're going to blow somebody's mind if you start talking about some personal thing that was going on.
Right.
And, especially grief is a tough puzzle, man.
Yeah. You don't know how that person's handled it, or if they handled it badly, or if it's been a long time, or
for the first time in my adult life, really experienced a lot of grief recently. My dog died. There's a dog I had for 15 years. It's just a dog. This dog our souls were connected. Okay. And if you come up to me the day after my dog died and you're like, I got someone that wants me to talk to you, I'd be like, I don't got time for this shit right now. Like you said, it would be way too emotional, man. It wouldn't be something. To this day, he's been gone for 3 months, and he's somewhere in this house. He's cremated, and I still haven't. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm not ready to see. I don't want to see it. I don't, So everyone processes grief differently, and like he said, it's a good thought process, and it's very noble of you the way you kind of respect people in that way.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about your dog because
that's cool, man.
Yeah, I would. I've I'm in a place where I haven't lost too many people that I'm really close to.
That's good, man.
Not since I was young.
Yeah.
And I lost my dog a year ago yesterday. Yeah. So I know what you're talking about. And if you have that kind of relationship with your animals, they're totally family, and they're so close, and they're so loving, and they're innocent too, right. There are people where it's like, yeah, kind of a jerk. I'm sorry that happened, but
not dogs.
No. Although some dogs could be jerks, but
absolutely.
Sure. I'm still gonna love them.
Yeah, you're from California. There's a lot of hood dogs over there.
It's cats you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Who put a turd in my shoe? What's this about?
You're talking about how affectionate dogs are. And last night, my new puppy ran downstairs, and she was just eating the cat box like it was the last thing she's ever going to do in her life. And I was like, I grabbed her by her collar, and then she tried to lunge back towards the cat shit. And I smacked her in the mouth, and then she ran back up the steps. And then by the time it took me to clean up the cat litter and get to the top of the steps, she was like shaking her butt. She was happy to see me. I'm like, I just slapped you in the face because you're eating cat shit. Now you're fine.
Hey, let me lick your face.
Give me a cat.
And you're all willing, just putting your face down there. Go give me some love.
God, humans are disgusting.
We are disgusting animals.
Brad, I don't even know why you try and do nice things for humans. I would just stick to the spirit world and do nice things for them. Don't mess with us humans anymore. We don't deserve it.
Living are kind of difficult to work with, but spirit, I can do that.
You spoke briefly before we started here about your spouse. Is she roll her eyes at you, or is she kind of like, okay, my husband's got some abilities and I'm just going to let him, I'm gonna let him go, or she.
She was a skeptic, and she was very scientific and thought all of this was ridiculous. And then she started coming around. This was like right before we met. She started to come around, and she ended up taking a class, like some weekend class on animal communication. So how to talk to her dog.
Okay.
She was just like, well, this is interesting. And they told her, okay, you know, picture what you want them to do in your head. And, you know, I don't know, do this and that. She came home and she tried it, and she's like, okay, without moving, without like no body movement or anything. She's just like looking at her dog, and she's like visioning, okay, I want you to stand up. I want you to turn around 3 times and then sit back down. And the dog did it like right there. And she was just like, boom, her mind is blown.
That's so like, you can't even make something like that up. It's so like,
and the dog was like, what?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, I'm really impressed with this, you know.
If my dog could talk, you look like shit naked. My dog would say to me.
Yeah, maybe animal communication isn't for you.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to know. I don't need to know.
Yeah, but she, like, right before we met, she had an experience like that. And so it's kind of like, okay, that's a chink in her skeptical armor. And then we started going out, and one of the first places we went to Vegas. We're staying in this hotel where I think they used to do seances for Houdini.
Hell wow. Yeah,
Houdini
that's
seances.
so cool.
Yeah. And we go in there, we get the room, and I'm always like stoked for any hotel room, any motel room, like crappy ones where you have to put a tarp on the bed. I'm like, bring it. This is interesting.
Yeah.
But I get in this room, and I'm just like, you know, this place is a dump. I hate this place. And it's like, it's just kind of a normal room. Right. So something's wrong with me. Right. So I guess I was starting to pick up on some sort of energy in this room. So we drop off our bags and go down to the casino and go have dinner, do all this stuff, go back to the room at, 1:00 in the morning and go to bed. In the middle of the night, she turns on the light and her face is like totally white. And I'm like, it looks like you just saw a ghost. And she's like, yeah, there was this woman spirit and she was choking me, like had her hands on my neck and choking me.
Succubus.
And, yeah, I'm like, it wasn't that kind of choking.
Okay.
It wasn't the good kind.
Yeah, it's not our kind of choking.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of like, yeah, there's this woman and she felt all this jealousy from her and all this stuff. And she's like, okay, we're moving. I'm like, yeah, we'll get a room on another floor. And she's like, no, we're moving. We're out of here. So it's Vegas. So there's another casino, another hotel, like 3 of them within walking distance. So
yeah,
we just go out and get another room somewhere. And the way I do it is I'm just pretty much wide open whenever I get the chance to talk to anybody about the paranormal.
Oh yeah.
So as we're checking out, it's like, hey, yeah, do you guys have any ghosts here? And depending on who's working the desk, they're like, nope, nothing to see here. Move along. Or they're the next place. Yeah. We go to the next place and I'm like, yeah, we just left a hotel because it was haunted. And they're like, oh man, you will never believe the stuff that happens here. And I mean, it's just, you start talking to people about this and they're like, give me a chance to talk about ghosts or talking about something weird. They're all for it and it's fun. I love it.
Yeah. I'm always got my ear open for weird stuff like that too.
Yeah, I can't imagine the shit that Vegas ghosts see.
Oh yeah,
we went there for the first time this past year, and man, it was the place is wild.
The ghost goes back to the ghost boss, and the ghost is like, they were snorting cocaine out of each other's butts last night. I can't keep going back there, man. Well, welcome to Vegas. Welcome to Vegas. I think for my next question, I had this one thought out. Before I just forgot. Oh,
I got one too. Whenever, yeah, go ahead and do yours.
I remember mine.
Go ahead.
Before I lock up and lose it again. And when I was watching some of your YouTube videos, man, some of these investigations and I guess some of these readings you're doing, they really cause you a lot of emotional turmoil. I don't know if I would call it turmoil, but they're just, you can tell they're taking a lot out of you and they're really emotional for you to go through. Can you tell us about maybe your most emotional kind of maybe investigation or the most emotional reading that you recall?
You know what? The first, my early readings, when I started doing readings, one of the big cues for me that something is happening and I'm like really connecting with somebody is I start to get super emotional and I feel whatever this spirit is. And so it's usually a family member or, a close friend or something, connecting with somebody from, on the living side. So we've got a past, a ghost or a spirit of somebody who's been dead for 5 years and they love their person so much. And, the client or the sitter is there and they're, it's family reunion from somebody basically across the grave. And I mean, I would just, it's hard to do a reading where you're so emotionally, it's so emotionally charged. Cause I mean, it's like you're feeling what's going on with that spirit. And, there was one, I mean, to go like way out there was one time I was asked to move a spirit, to like try to get a spirit out of this, workplace. It was a restaurant and there was a spirit in the back, a ghost in the back of the restaurant who used to work there. And they would like break stuff and move pans around and do all this stuff overnight. And so I kind of connected with it or with him. And he was this father of like 2 kids and a wife. And he had lost them somehow. It was like a car accident or something. Oh, okay. And he wasn't there. He was a separate situation. And so I connect with him and start trying to basically persuade him to go into the light or, follow the angels or follow his family members to go to heaven. Yeah. And I mean, you can think of this however you want with, whatever the next dimension is in the next place. So I'm like, okay, go to heaven. So when I first connect with them, all I'm feeling is the sorrow. And I was with my wife at the time and I just started crying so hard with this. And then all of a sudden he starts to go into heaven. And it's that white light tunnel opens up and there are generations of his family down this white light tunnel. I mean, it's like the portal that people talk about, but there are generations all like down this hallway, all looking towards him and welcoming him in. And it was so incredibly loving and incredibly blissful. I mean, it was like, I just started laughing and my crying, my like sorrow. It was just like total joy, like euphoria. And I mean, I was like laughing and giggling for like hours and hours that day.
You're making me happy.
And it's
right
just
now.
like, it's nuts. So that was a big one.
Okay. That would be a lot, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd make me cry. I watch the TikTok videos like soldiers coming home. I'll watch 2 and I'm slobbering all over myself crying. Now, I kind of like, I love to read about demonic activity, about demons, the way they work against people and all the scary shit they do, man. So if I'm getting too far off here, pull me back. But do you ever have things come through from the other side that you can kind of say like, hold on a second, this is not something or someone that wishes good. This is someone trying to do something bad. And if I see you shaking your head, but when you do experience that, kind of what do you do to put up the stop sign, I guess?
You know what? A lot of times, the way I think about it is most of these, like, oh, it's a demon, you hear that all over the place, demonic activity, all this stuff. People are jerks in their lives, right?
Sure.
And when they cross over, they're, if that's how they act, they're still going to be acting that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't getting the attention. They aren't getting any of these. They aren't being satisfied, and however they need to be satisfied.
Yeah.
And so they remain being jerks like that. And so I think that's a huge majority of the demons people experience.
Okay.
And, we're talking, a ghost is a spirit who doesn't like cross over into heaven. And once they're in heaven, I consider they're spirits, and they can come and visit us, and they can, meet us and all that stuff. But while they're a ghost, they're earthbound. And a lot of those earthbound spirits are earthbound because they've got those emotional or mental deficits or some sort of issue. And so they're going to continue to have those problems. So you're going to end up with the, angry spirit who is just really doing really kind of mean things to you or being hostile around you.
Yeah.
And then I didn't believe this, but then I had an experience with it. But then I found out demons are real, like actual demons. And so I had an experience with some demons. They showed up in my car, and we're driving along. My wife is driving, and all of a sudden there's this energy in the car. One of our visors, the little sun visor, it broke off, and it's like flying around the interior of the car. I mean, just like around our heads. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, I can see this gargoyle looking thing in the car. And I think there were either 2 or 3 of them in the car with us. And this is all psychic. I'm not actually seeing this. I did see the visor flying around.
Yeah.
And so we pull over. We're in a place where we can just pull over. This is out in the desert, out by Palm Springs. She pulls the car to the side of the road. We try to figure out what's going on. I'm like asking my guides for help, all this stuff. And then we have to get back in the car and drive the rest of the way to get to a hotel. And I'm like, well, if they can break off this visor and do stuff like that, like they could like crash our car.
Absolutely.
Like where's the extent? So we get to the hotel, and we go up to the room, and something follows us, and it's this demonic thing. And I can see it in my mind's eye, and it looks very much like Hellboy.
Oh shit.
And I'm like,
No.
and so I'm asking my guides, and I've been talking to them for a very long time. So I know what to expect, and I know how to listen for them and all this. And they just tell me how to deal with it. And I go and I'm trying to deal with this thing. And then angels show up, and we're talking angels with the wings and,
Yeah.
And so like right in this afternoon, it's like, okay, demons are a real thing. Like my mind is totally blown. And then angels show up, and it's like, okay, angels are a real thing. And so like, yeah, that moves me forward in my in how I'm dealing with this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets a little nuts.
And I guess, so that answers my question. Kind of, how do you throw that stop sign up? You just kind of listen to your guides and let your guides kind of show you the way, or kind of tell you what to do to get you out of that situation.
I would say with most people, like if you are really feeling a threat or something, you can call on whoever your religious, your higher religious people are. So like if you're a Christian or Catholic or whatever, you might be calling on Jesus or a saint. Archangel Michael is good for just about everybody. You know, if that's where you are, I don't know who you would call on if you're like Islamic or Buddhist or something like that. But, you know, I'm sure an angel will show up and help you out. But
angels never help me out. They just leave me there on my back like a turtle on the upside down. Just
but do you ask them? That's the big part. You have to ask them. You have to free will. They aren't supposed to mess with you except for free will.
Okay.
I mean,
that makes sense.
I'm opening up doors for you right here.
There you
You're
go.
gonna start asking for stuff, and it's going to start happening. You're going to be like, okay, can we not do this anymore?
That's all Brett's fault. You remember what your question was?
He's kind of already answered it.
Okay.
So we're good. My whole thing was it was going to be kind of I didn't really know how to word it, but he kind of hit on it. I was kind of curious as to what his thoughts were where the actual spirits reside. If it was like if they were earthbound tied, or if there was like that thin veil that they kind of can creep in between, or if these spirits potentially had already passed on and gone either, you know, hellbound or heavenbound, and he's able to pick out between them. But it sounds to me like it was more of like the earthbound ones that haven't crossed over yet.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think earthbound we would consider ghosts, and they're just folks who they died, but they just haven't moved over for whatever reason. A lot of times it's like fear, or maybe it's somebody who wants to hang out and, you know, see their children graduate from high school, or, you know, whatever it is. That person's probably not going to be messed up. The one that, you know, is afraid or
experience something traumatic,
doesn't want to go. Yeah. That person's going to remain probably earthbound a little longer. And I think everybody gets, like, when you die, I think there are folks that are there on the other side, like angels or family members or friends or something who have passed over, who are there to kind of escort them into the light. So nobody like dies and it's like,
you're alone.
Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah, which that would essentially be, you know, the guardian angel type deal.
Oh yeah.
And whenever you have the spirits talking to you, is it always more of a? I know you mentioned heaven, but if we're talking about heaven, then there has to be a hell. You kind of spoke about the demonic activity, but is there a difference between maybe a spirit reaching out from hell and a spirit reaching out from heaven?
You know what the weird thing is? I don't know about hell. I don't have anybody, even the demonic things don't really give me an impression of a hell. So I think it might be that they're just stuck in whatever trauma, you know, whatever trauma is that's kind of earthbound.
I'll say it could just be here. You know what I mean? You either arise to a nicer place or you stay ridden to Earth, where all this. I mean, you could see it like that. I mean, some people would think that this is a hell. You know what I mean?
See those gas prices. This is hell. This is hell, buddy. Man.
Yeah, Mondays.
Exactly. I think that, you know, I kind of saw that we're all these different places you've traveled to for investigations. What's I know we kind of talked about maybe your most emotional reading, but what was your most in terms of your paranormal investigations? Was there ever any places you went where you're like, ah, damn, man, this place shit's crazy?
A fruitful endeavor.
Yeah.
Well, the one I want to talk about that doesn't match any of that stuff, just because I think it's so cool, is the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got all about that.
Hell yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
I read the books like it was like George Knapp came out with a book on Skinwalker Ranch, and that was just like, oh, okay, I've been hearing about this place. This place is nuts. And I watched the first season of that show. And then over the summer, I was looking for a place to camp right around Skinwalker Ranch. I was like, yeah, you know, if I can get kind of close, I'll just watch the skies and it'll be interesting and I can tune in, and, you know, there's weird stuff everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I started looking and I'm like, wait, what's this place? And it's like right there on the next property next to Skinwalker Ranch.
Nice.
It's actually the property that's on the ridge right there. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're actually like right there above Homestead 3 and 2. Like you could throw a Frisbee and it'll land on top of the roof, you know?
Yeah.
And I got to camp on that property. And it was funny because, well, it's probably spirits or guides who got me, who made this happen. But when I called them in the morning and I was like, yeah, I want to come over and, you know, tour and I'll camp there. And they're like, oh, we'd love for you to do that, but we don't have permits yet. We're supposed to get permits any day, but we can't do this yet. I'm like, is there any way you can kind of slide me in under the radar, you know? And they're like, no, we don't want to jeopardize it.
Yeah.
So like 2 hours later, they call back and they're like, you'll never believe what happened today. We got our permit. So if you still want to camp here, yeah, you know, it's open. So I got to be the first person to camp there.
Wow.
And I had the whole place to myself. Well, I was the only visible person there.
Sure.
Did it seem like, did you seem like you were maybe dealing with a lot of spirits there, or were you having any experiences?
That place was nuts. There was some non-human things going on there. And you know, talking about that whole like, oh, I don't want information beforehand. I know a lot about Skinwalker Ranch. So I went to the place with all of this information, all of this knowledge.
You're looking for Demogorgon for sure.
Cattle mutilations, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm out in my little, you know, tiny tent out there all by myself. Like, hey, you know, does anybody else put themselves out here all by themselves in the middle of the night?
Yeah,
Skinwalker Ranch. It's like, nope, that's just me. And there was some weird stuff that happened out there. And, you know, I was on high alert and freaked out at just being there rationally because I had read all the stories, but there was stuff happening there. And, you know, I had people send me some questions to ask. And some of their questions were like, you know, hey, can you dig a hole? It's like,
yeah, right before I shit.
yeah, thanks, bro. Piss off. I'm not digging a hole. Like terrible things happen when you do this stuff. Like there's the person that has to go to the hospital because they have some sort of thing growing on their head. It's like, no, I'm not messing with this stuff. But yeah, and if I didn't know anything, I'd be like, yeah, let me just do it. I'm bold.
Yeah.
But yeah, that place was pretty crazy. And I got some info. We'll see if that shows up in like the next season of this show. I know some of the stuff that I was talking about, I hadn't watched the second season yet because I didn't know there was a second season.
Yeah.
And so I watched that after I got back and I was like, yes, I got that.
Okay.
I know, you know, I pointed out that, yeah, I know about this. And so we'll see if some of that stuff comes up. But I mean, there were things that were growling and there were things, there was some sort of animal, it wasn't like a rabbit or it wasn't a coyote or a giant wolf or anything, but there was some sort of animal that was like suddenly there in camp. And it's like, I don't know, this is kind of far away from, the farmhouse on that land and stuff. Like, I don't know. There was some crazy stuff. Man. So yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. Camping.
I'd love to do that.
Hell yeah, me too.
I would be
I'd be there.
I'd piss my pants and leave by about 10:30. At least I'd give it a college try.
Yeah, that whole 10:30 thing. Like as soon as it starts getting dark, you're like, "What's up? What was that?" Yeah, I got like grocery bags like rattling in the wind, and I'm just like, I'm scared.
That's good stuff, man. Now, do you have a paranormal team that you work with, or you pretty much operate solo at this point?
I'm doing stuff on my own now.
Okay.
I've worked with a bunch of different teams and stuff, and I love any opportunity to do this stuff with people. But yeah, I just started doing this on my own. Okay. Sorry, I think I've got something backing up around my house
cool,
somewhere.
Garbage day.
Beeping.
I think do you have any more? I kind of
No.
my brain is just
Yeah.
completely.
I think you've hit pretty much anything
I'm
that I would have asked.
hyperactive right now. I got so many things. I don't want to walk all over you if you.
No,
have
not
questions.
at all. My main question it was answered, so that was the main thing I had.
Okay, I think that now. Has there ever been a point in your life where you thought about like, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be like this is too much for me. I think that can you just turn it off and not do it if you choose to?
I think once you light up, basically, once you open up, you actually kind of shine. Well, it's like the movie The Shining, right? They're calling them, some people have the shining. Yeah, I think when you open up or when you're psychic or even when you're like thinking about or studying some of the paranormal stuff, you basically light up and you become a beacon for folks on the other side. And there are, we're used to spirits and stuff like that, but I'm talking about, there are angels and demons. And, every time I turn around, I'm like, my paradigm is opened up more. And it's like, okay, there are fairies too. I've had some experiences with fairies and it's like, that's really crazy. I had no idea that this was a thing. And I've also had experiences with ETs. And that's some of the stuff where it's like,
so cool.
I don't want this. Like, how do I get these guys out of my house?
How are you able to differentiate between that?
A lot of it is being able to see them, like in my mind's eye. And I've actually seen something physical that wasn't human.
Okay.
Something physical in my house, looking around my door, and I'm like, well, what's that? Because I'm just sitting watching TV or whatever, and I see this thing look at me around my door, and then it ducks out. I'm like, what was that? And I look, and then it happens again. It looks in again, and ducks back out. And I get up and I try to follow it down the hallway, and it just disappears. And then I can still feel it. I still know it's there. I can still see it in my mind's eye. And we basically have an argument, but it's some sort of non-human thing. And I mean, it was physically there, right there, looking at me in my doorway.
It makes sense. That makes total sense.
That's insane. Have you ever been physically injured before doing this stuff?
Yeah, I've had, I've had the scratches and bruises and even burns and stuff like that. I've had that kind of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I've been hurt.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it's on accident. I think a lot of people getting scratched and stuff. It's just
they walked into shit.
I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage, though. I mean, if you're doing this thing, like that's kind of what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks after the fact, but I mean, you're like physical proof. Like it's where it's at.
Yeah, it's not where it's at, young man. That stuff. Yeah, I mean, once you have an experience that's like really physical, you're like, okay, I don't necessarily need that anymore. The scratches, I think a lot of times it's spirits that are trying to touch you or trying to interact with you or something. And I'm guessing that they just don't know how to do it. Okay. And then I'm sure there are some that are actively trying to hurt you.
Yeah. Man.
So
it's like, it makes you just think like of just like there's like a wall and they could kind of get their hands through to like grab at you.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't want to mess with that.
So you can think of like The Walking Dead when like they're like at like the fences and they're like reaching to try to grab you through the fences. Like one of those things. Yeah, dude. Weird, man.
That's very much what it's like.
Yeah.
Think of yourself as like you've got a force field around you. And actually you can do that through intention. You can actually put kind of a force field around you.
Right.
And that'll keep most folks from being able to get in and mess with you.
I mean, they say the veil is fairly thin and just, they just got to have a little bit to get through.
Wow. Now, do you think everyone has the ability, but there's just, you know how to use it and other people don't? Or you think it's something that only certain people have the ability?
I think everybody has the ability. I think most people can feel when something is going on. Like, you can probably feel when somebody's looking at the back of your head, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, people just can do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of our psychic senses. And we can feel when something is like in the room with us.
Mm-hmm.
You can enter a room where people have been fighting right before, and you go in there and you're like, wow, what's like, this doesn't feel good. It feels heavy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of our abilities that hasn't been kind of suppressed in us.
Okay.
Like if you're a little kid and you're talking about hearing voices, yeah, you're going to get some grief over that. They're going to be like, no, you aren't.
They might stuff you full of pills and make you see a doctor
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that does happen.
It does.
And then same thing with seeing things. That's not an accepted thing. Feeling things, people are more likely to let you go with that. And so that ability isn't really beat out of us the same way a lot of our abilities are. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah, complete sense.
It's heavy. It's heavy stuff. Now,
Cool, man.
And just a couple more questions here. Whenever when someone's going through something and they get to the point where they're like, I think I want to try and talk to a psychic. Do you have kind of, when you're going through this, are there people that come to you for the right reasons and people that come to you for the wrong reasons? Kind of maybe tell us the difference between the two. When would you recommend someone to reach out to a psychic? And when would you say, okay, maybe this isn't the perfect thing for you to do right now?
I think people need to get through their grief if they're going to come and see a medium. If you're just like something, your dog dies and you're just so desperate to still know that they're there or know that they're okay or whatever, like it's not healthy for you to come in right after it happens because you're still grieving and you need to work through all of that stuff yourself and be able to let go, and be able to accept it and move on and stuff like that. And then as you're getting used to it or okay, or you're grieving enough, I guess, then it's probably okay to, see somebody and want to talk to them about that. And then, sometimes like I'm not the right guy for everybody. I'm definitely not.
Okay.
Like,
that's all right.
If you're coming and you're like, should I get back together with my ex-girlfriend? It's like, no, you shouldn't. I mean, just there's your freebie right there.
We all know that, man. Don't do it.
But there are people that will continue. They'll go and they'll see psychics and mediums, and they're like, they want this answer, and they'll keep going and they'll keep trying different people, and they'll keep going to the same person over and over again, wanting this one result. And it might not be time. Or like the answer is not what you're looking for, so, I don't know.
It's all subjective. It sounds like,
I don't know if I would say subjective, but, I mean, it's, every case is very different.
Okay.
For how to find a good psychic or somebody who's not, somebody who's lying or a fake or whatever. You know what? In like pretty much all of my experiences working with a lot of psychics, a lot of mediums, and being in classes with people and stuff, there are very few people out there that are full of it.
Okay.
People are pretty genuine in this field for the most part. Like the thing I think about is like, I've got a big responsibility to the other side. And if I am screwing around or not being truthful or whatever, I know I'm going to have to answer to somebody when I'm over there, and I'm also wondering, like, would they cut me off? Like, is it over if I start messing around with this? Because it's super valuable, and I want to be as helpful and truthful and honest as possible.
It makes sense because I mean, like once we cross over, there may be way more scarier things than death.
For sure.
You don't know what's that's like the big like enigma of being a human. Like you literally do not know what's what you face once you leave this life.
It's wild, man.
Well, I can assure you there's something over there. and I've gotten to look and see heaven a few times. They cut me off at a certain point because I'm like totally useless. Like after I see, like seeing an angel or seeing seeing heaven completely. Like, and I mean, I'm just talking about, I saw somebody enter the portal or enter the white light. And that was enough to like blow me away and make me, wet noodle for,
Now, is there like a portal in your mind, or how do they pass back and forth through you is kind of my question.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think they show up around me. I think like a lot of times on my rides, I'll go to different places. I ride into town, and I think I've got an entourage of spirits with me. I think my guides are interesting enough that it draws attention of like any ghosts or any spirits that are around, and they show up.
So it doesn't originate in you.
No,
it originates around you.
I think I give them. I think they get some energy from me. I think I'm developing, or I'm using my energy and pulling that up, and like they're basically using some of my energy to communicate with me.
Okay, by that,
and that's just it's just weird, and like it's like how is that working?
Yeah,
it's always boggling my mind, but it happens, and it's like whoa.
And the more and more we do this podcast, we've been at this for 4 years, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Close to.
We hear a lot of hokey stories, a lot of weird paranormal, because we talk about something different every week, and I think I've become more of a skeptic since we've done this.
Sure.
But then there's certain cases where you're like, okay, there was some shit going on right there. Like the Indiana Hell House.
The Hell House
by us.
Yeah.
You have cops and ER doctors saying, this kid started talking shit and then walked up the wall.
We saw him walk up walls.
And they wrote police reports and doctor reports, all this stuff. So it makes but then some of the stories you read, you're like, that's bullshit. Like, that's not real.
But it's still a cool story nonetheless. But yeah, it's a story.
I think you totally trust your gut on those, because there's some stories where it's like, oh, dude, the way this guy is embellishing is just like, this is not true.
Yeah.
Like he the way the person just starts out with their story, it's like, okay, he's making this up. This is, and I mean, you can just, I don't know if this is just me being psychic, but you can read people pretty well in just how they talk about something or how they approach something. Yeah. There's something that's not genuine with some of the people, but I also have to say, like, some of the craziest, weirdest stories are those are probably authentic. Absolutely true.
Yeah. Sure.
The one where there's like, oh yeah. And then this giant teddy bear came out of the wall, and it's like, I don't know. That's so crazy and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's probably legit. And you start talking to them, and it's like, they seem pretty sound. I mean, everything else they're talking about sounds right. And they're just talking about this teddy bear. And it's like, okay, what color eyes did it have? Trying to catch them. And they're like, oh no, it wasn't eyes. It was like, and I mean, you can probably trust that. Yeah. I think the weirder stories are the ones that are probably true. Yeah.
Man,
I know something we did an episode a few weeks ago. We call the episode "They Won't Believe You," and just people submitting stories to us, just kind of experiences they have that were so far fetched and crazy that they never really told anyone before, because they didn't think that people would believe them. We had hundreds of stories come in of people just saying, this is what I went through, and I've never really told anyone this because no one will believe me. And we got a lot of cool stories from that.
Yeah, let's see. Let me try to figure out something that's just wacky that happened with us. My wife went into the bathroom. This is while we had really crazy, intense, some scary activity, and it lasted for about 3 months. She went into the bathroom and it was raining from the ceiling. I mean, like raining from the ceiling.
Wow.
And then when we like she immediately grabbed me. When we went back, there was no evidence of it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, it was raining in the ceiling. You know, I mean, it's like just some of that stuff is so insane.
You can't mistake that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just one of those weird things. It's like, what else could it be, you know?
Yeah. It's, I don't know, man.
And then
I don't like it.
something that's helpful with those kind of crazy things is if you do have somebody else that's there witnessing it or experiencing it, the way to do it and to kind of get some validation for it is like one person points at it and the other person gives like the tiniest bit of like, yes, I see it. And, you know, you take turns explaining like, yeah, something was, you know, it was solid. It was black. It was about the size of a Coke can. And it scooted across the wall right there and then disappeared in the corner. And it's like, that's a true thing that happened with my wife and I. Were just sitting in bed, like watching TV. And then like, it's kind of like, you know, I see her look up and it's like, you saw that too. And we, you know, basically share this information. And it's like, okay, so yeah, that happened. This whole like group hallucination thing. That's validation. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
that's some good stuff.
I got one more question for you. And if you guys are trying to connect with Brett, you can go to youtube.com/Brett Carstens, Carstens. He also can be found at brettcarstens.com. No matter what you guys are looking for, I think he can probably help you out. The YouTube channel is very good, but just because I think they're so freaking cool. What do you think about what do you think about Ouija boards, man? Bad, good, horrible? What do you think about Ouija boards?
I think Ouija boards are a bad idea for most people.
Okay.
I think it's like, yeah, it's marketed as a toy. Yeah, go for it. You're opening doors.
Okay.
When you start to do this, when you start to study being a medium, or you get into paranormal investigation or this kind of thing, you start to open doors, and you know, you're starting to attract attention of folks on the other side, and you know, you don't know what you're going to get. You can have that whole like, oh, I'm positive and full of white light, and I'm, you know, praying for only good spirits to come through. But
that work.
I don't.
That's not how it works.
I don't know if you're going to get that all the time.
Yeah.
And this is from my experiences. I don't always get that.
Okay.
So Ouija boards. I've got a Ouija board that I have not unwrapped. I was like, you know, I need to have a Ouija board.
Yeah, it's one of those things you have to have, you know.
I've used them before and had some crazy stuff happen. You know, somebody definitely came through and gave me information. So I know they're real. I know they work. I know a lot of the tools that people use for their paranormal investigations and stuff. I think that stuff works. So yeah, I mean, it works. You just might not want to do that in your home.
You may not
Don't invite spirits in.
You may ring the doorbell and not like who's at the other side of the door.
Yeah, my mom always used to say, talking about Ouija boards, she's like, it's like when you fart but you shit yourself.
Yeah, there you go. Always the optimist, your mother.
You don't think it's a bad idea, then you gamble and you lose. It's but
it's actually on the box, I think.
Yeah, I think it's in quotes.
Well, Brett, man, I hope you had a good time with us, because we had a good time with you, man. It's probably what's not a very conventional interview for you, because we're kind of weird out there. But
this was a blast.
All right. Well, anytime you want to talk, man, we are all ears and ready to listen. Again, guys, you can go to youtube.com/Brett Carstens. I'm going to put the link for his YouTube channel in the episode description, so you guys can check him out. I think he'd be happy to communicate with anybody that reaches out. Brett, man, this was short notice. I don't know how I stumbled upon you, but I feel like we were meant to talk tonight. We were meant to be friends, and I hope I will send you the link to the episode, but we'll stop recording real quick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brett, and then
hang on. We'll finish this up, and then we'll talk to you a little bit more.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
man.